Okay.
Your auntie's
So,
gonna come down and get you. Cause I
oh
don't know about
wowzers.
mine.
Okay, y'all. So look, once the code comes in, it's gonna because she has to work. So once she gets off work and she comes in, I will start the full podcast episode.
When
But
she
for
get off at
now,
9.
we're gonna do what we normally do on Freestyle Wednesdays. So,
Pop your shit, TE.
um, so as always, for those of y'all who did come in, appreciate y'all for being here. Um, if you want to listen to this particular
Yeah,
show
where's my
on the
lighter?
regular podcast, you can. Down for the Count stuff is up. This is the stuff for the personal podcast, but Down for the Count stuff goes up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for right now. You can comment on those podcasts, so you can comment directly on there. There is an episode that was recorded about 2 weeks ago. I'm getting ready to upload the storyline recap for Bad Blood. I should have that up either tonight or tomorrow, and then we'll have this episode go up on the podcast as well, so y'all can comment over there or comment here, whatever works for you. Okay. Now, if you don't get enough wrestling from us and you want to have some more wrestling conversation, you can always look to the fam. Okay. Marks with Mikes is a good place to go. Get your podcast, Culture Cast, and Smacking It Raw are good podcasts to go and listen to. They have some really cool content on those podcasts. And of course, Know the Ropes is another one that you can go to and get some really good, cool wrestling content from. Okay. All right. So, hello to all of y'all. Donnie was the first person to comment in here, so shout out to Donnie. But Nika's here, Kayla is here, and Aaliyah is here, of course. And I love y'all. Thank y'all for coming in. I appreciate it. It's the usual suspects, which makes life a lot easier because I don't have to do nothing. Like, I can just be myself. Anywhoosies. So I was gonna go over NXT in its entirety, but I'm gonna wait till Nicole comes in. So we might have to kill some time. I see that I'm getting some pretty good traction on the recaps for the Vince McMahon documentary. If you haven't watched it, or if you would rather listen to me break it down, you definitely can. I did all 6 episodes and I broke it down piece by piece. And instead of me just like watching the whole episode and then talking about it, what I did was as the episode played and I saw things, I would stop and I would talk about it. So that's why the episodes are so long, but they are detailed accounts of these episodes, and they're broken down piece by piece by what talking points really stood out to me. So I will get into the Vince McMahon doc even more when Nicole comes in because she really wanted to talk about it as well. And it was a very interesting documentary. And there are some things that I do want to clear up because a lot of people seem to be very how can I put it? Some of y'all seem to be very locked into the documentary and how it didn't cover what you wanted it to cover. It didn't say what you wanted it to say. And there's a reason for that. And I'm going to get into that in a minute because some of y'all have a skewed view of what documentaries are supposed to be. And they have already told us exactly what this doc was about. And you weren't paying attention or you chose to read into what you wanted to read into. You weren't really listening or watching the documentary for what it was. You were trying to watch it thinking that you were going to get new and better information. But those of us who've been living in the IWC since its inception, right? We have a better firsthand knowledge of what's really going on in wrestling than somebody who doesn't. That documentary was meant for people who are casual fans who don't really have the insight into the bowels of hell that we have the insight into. You get what I mean? I will go a little bit further, and I'm sure Nicole will go a little deeper once she pops in, and we'll be able to discuss the documentary even deeper. Okay, but let's do something safe.
Yeah, it
So
was people was expecting to be upset.
I don't understand what they were expecting, but at this point, I'm just like, I don't think y'all have enough discernment to be able to watch things like this because you literally went into this trying to think that you did learn new things. Like you kind of, if you were paying attention, you fully understand how Vince McMahon works. Um he's he's not as mysterious as he tries to portray himself to be. He actually is very transparent, and I I find him to be very fascinating because I feel like if he wasn't such a depraved delinquent, he actually wouldn't be such of a bad person, right?
Hmm.
But he he is likable. I can understand why a lot of people like him
You
and
know
why
why a lot of people like him?
huh?
You know why a lot of people like him?
Why?
He's a freaking Virgo. Oh,
Jesus.
his day. I think it's either. I think his birthday is the day before Mount or day after. I think it's the day after.
I can understand it. I mean, I'm not I'll be honest. Before I knew what I know, I liked him. I thought he was pretty decent. I didn't know
Yeah,
anything about the other bullshit, and we weren't a part of that world. We were just watching TV, and then he has a likable personality. He has some. He
I
has.
I knew of the past lawsuits. I don't know how I came across them, but I do remember them being talked about.
I didn't know about the lawsuits. The only lawsuit I knew about was the steroid stuff. I didn't know anything about Rita. I didn't know anything about her. I didn't know anything about Sable. I didn't know anything about that. So I was not aware of those things until like I started doing the podcast with Nicole and them, and I started just like generally being a content creator in this particular space. You learn and see
Hmm.
and hear things. So I'm like, well, damn,
That's
like,
probably how I heard about it.
right. Like, you're just like, life sucks. Like, that's
Yeah,
gross. That's gross. But
yeah,
I
because I
mean,
remember them telling me about it. I was like, ain't nobody make her ass go out there with fucking pasties on her titties.
mm,
You did, you did it, and you did it willingly, no hesitation. Please don't lie, because you was in the game for a hot little second.
my thing was she left and she came back.
Yeah, dropped the suit and came back.
And I was just like, okay. But then I do understand that coercion is a thing.
Hmm.
And I do believe that there probably was some coercion there. I do think there also is some overlap of Sable not being able to be champion as long as she wanted, and there was
I
that.
mean, honestly, what for what?
We ain't gonna do that. We're not gonna do that today.
I wait till Nicole gets here.
Yeah, yeah, we can't do that.
Because people was mad at Vince, baby. Y'all wouldn't have liked me as a businessman. I tell you that now. I don't give.
I
I'm
mean,
not doing no handshakes.
I believe that there's a lot of truth to what a lot of people is saying. I believe that.
Yeah,
I believe what Ashley said wholeheartedly. Um,
yeah,
she was assaulted by somebody overseas during one of the tribute to the troops moments, and they didn't do anything about it. They kind of just left her to her own devices, and that was really messed up. Like, she was harmed and they just wanted to cover it up. I'm like, if you didn't, like, at bare minimum, you could have gotten that girl some counseling and really took into account what she said. And like, she was assaulted, and that's not fair. And then two,
and it
you
wasn't
turn
like
around.
blatant. It was like somebody in disguise. That could have happened to anybody, not
Exactly.
just Ashley. Medical attention in disguise. That could have happened to anybody.
And you should have reported it. You should have reported it. And I was like, then you're sexually assaulting her. You're inappropriately touching her. And I just, that wasn't right. And he has a way. And I can't wait till Nicole gets here because I need people to understand the level of his depravity, and the way that he brought it up in the documentary just spoke volumes to me. He
Hmm.
has no care in the world. He gives no fucks.
That's a Virgo
None.
show. Once it's done, it's done.
He don't care. I'm just like, you really said this shit on camera, nigga? Wow.
Man, the shit was. I mean, I was thinking like I wouldn't have to rewatch it, but it was such a good business teller
I
that
like
I'm
the
gonna have to watch it
documentary.
again.
I like the documentary because you got more insight into him, but you also understood how he got there, because that
Hmm.
that was not it wasn't as detailed as people thought it was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, they went in and told you, like, these were the territories. You saw the map. There she go. Nicole's here. You
Sorry, I
saw.
was like somewhat listening. I'm gonna have to mute myself for a second because I had a place food to go since I got out of work late. But
Oh no, you're fine. No worries. We just got started, so you're cool. So, like,
Yeah, the expansion was crazy.
when they showed the map of the whole territories, I didn't. Okay, so everybody always say like he gutted the territories, right? And rightfully so, he did.
He
Okay,
did, but what he did
but
was
it's
like
the way he did
merge.
it. It was the way he did it.
Was wild.
Yeah, and then do you understand the domino effect of what he did? Set the tone for how all promotions operate now.
Hmm.
So the way
Where?
Tony Khan got all his talent wouldn't have happened if Vince McMahon didn't do what he did by breaking up the territories.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, when people were trying to say, like, oh my gosh, contract tampering in wrestling does not exist. I wish
No,
people would get that notion out of their head. Contract tampering does not exist. A, because they're independent contractors, and
facts.
B, when these pre negotiations are allowed to happen when their contract is up via their agent.
That's facts. If they
All of
have one.
it is, again, so a lot of it is a narrative, and this is even vice versa to the point, because I want people always try to use it to boo-hoo on WWE, and I was like, well, AEW did that to Edge. He was already, again, he didn't, I don't know if he necessarily, again, I don't know the ins and outs, but they already knew he was going to AEW when before he left.
Yep.
They already knew.
Right.
Yep.
That's why they were like, we don't know how you're going to act or X, Y, and Z, or however you want to quote unquote end. So we're going to wrap your shit up right now.
Which is fine by him. Edge ain't got no hard feelings.
Exactly. So
And
I
one
mean,
the
thing
it
I
is
whole
what
one
it is.
thing that
the whole
like
contract tampering, and again, like, and then we can go back to the doc. It doesn't exist. It does not exist in professional wrestling.
it's not a fair assessment. I'll tell you this, like when it comes to that specifically, I generally don't want to hear that anymore because of what's going on with Ray Phoenix and Pentagon Jr. Don't want to hear it. Because the very same things that he chastised Vince McMahon for doing and what
He's
Triple
doing
H and the WWE were doing, he's currently doing right now. Okay.
And then if you
So,
want to keep it a buck, they haven't done that to anyone in a while since Triple H took over.
it. Hmm.
when people request to leave, he let
He
them
let them
leave.
go.
I'm just saying that's not fair. But go back to the documentary. It's 6 episodes, okay? And they're hour-long episodes. Um and I was here for 2 days cuz I had to take a break cuz it was a
That's
lot.
fine. I'll watch that shit straight through.
No, I couldn't do that. I was tired and I was like I need a fucking break. Not only that, but if I was just watching it, I probably could have, but I wasn't. I had to watch it and then record the breakdowns of it, and that's what exhausted me. And I was like, no, I'm not.
Mm.
It took me 2 days, so I waited and I watched the last half on the next day. My favorite episode of the doc was the family business one. I like that
Me
episode
too.
the most because
That's
you
the fifth
really,
episode, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you really got to understand the dynamic of how the family got intertwined in the business. We knew how Stephanie came in because she's mentioned that she came in right after college, and we knew
Hmm.
how Shane got in. But I was curious about how Linda felt about doing the stuff that they did during the 2000s and the 90s. She
That's a
wasn't
down
into,
bitch.
yeah,
She said it's the business. I'm with it.
she was like, whatever you need me to do. But some of the stuff, she was just like, Vince, please don't make me do this. I'm not a good actress. I don't think that I'll be able to portray it right. He was like, you'll be fine. Just go out there and be yourself. That's all you have to do.
Could have
For the
fooled me
most
because Linda
part,
did that shit.
he was
Because,
right.
I mean, and his reasoning was right. He was like, you can't have literally all three of them and she's not out
And
every
she's
once in a
not
while.
there. Right. I know. And like the one thing about Vince that I really find to be very fascinating is he will put
Excuse
all
me.
his eggs in one basket. He gives
Yeah, that was
zero
crazy.
fucks. He has no fucks given about risk factor. He doesn't even think about it. He gets an idea and he's like, okay, it can be executed. How can we do it? He doesn't really assess whether this is something that's going to take off and be well or do well, or he doesn't think about the process of how it should be done. All he
Yeah,
cares about is that his
let's
creative
do it.
mind has come up with an idea and he wants it to be executed. And he's like, we got the means to be able to execute it. We're going to do it. And they did. That's how the XFL came about. But he knew nothing about football. And I was like, why didn't you hire people who knew about
About
football?
football, yeah. Cause I was watching it back. I said, you trying to cross over sports. That's not what we don't do that. We can't do that. It just doesn't make sense.
The
I don't want to see a
concept of
show at a
it,
football game.
the concept of it made sense, right? But he was like, we're going to put storylines in it. I'm like, what?
Why?
People don't
Why are
watch
we doing
football for
that?
storylines. They watch football for football, babe. You could have just had the XFL and
You could have
literally
made a
hired.
TV show for that. The
Right. Like
game. Hello.
you could have just hired the people who knew about the sport and you just market it. One thing that he does know how to do is market. He's
That's when
very
I knew he was
Yeah,
good
he
at it.
crazy.
sold that shit.
Honestly, like I always thought Vince was crazy, but that's when I was like, oh, he's
Nuts.
yes, I see. He's
Nuts.
It was
just
about.
a bag of nuts.
I was
Yes.
like 19. Around the time I had met y'all, but a little bit before that. That's when I really started realizing like this man is operating all this shit. Because
Yeah.
before
And he
I got the child, you hear it and you know it like, oh, this is so cool. Like he got the money. But when you grow up, like this man is doing all this shit.
yes. He
That's
does not stop.
wild.
He is like a robot. He does not stop doing anything. And he
And you
can't.
know what? Who's very similar? I can't remember his name. Sometimes 'cause I have a Roku TV, so you know, if you have a Roku, you know, like on the side, the things like
Hmm.
pop up, like whatever, whatever. And so
Okay.
this UFC thing came up, and I was like, oh, behind it was like behind the something. It's like I'll watch it. Dana White is also crazy,
Okay.
but
That makes sense.
he's
Yeah.
not a depraved individual,
Well, not that we know of.
if that makes sense. Not that we know of. Again,
Not that we know
for
of.
all we know, but to me,
Right.
he seems they're very. And then do you want to have a talk? I feel like people who are that successful have that night. He's like they just he again he said more, 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 and I was like, I literally just heard that out of Vince's mouth a couple of days ago.
They can't help
Hmm.
it.
And when
Yes,
they linked
and
up, oh,
then
they
his
thought bad
thing
bitches
is
was
that he was
together when they
like,
got
I don't
together.
need the money. He was like, I'm fine. He's like, this is for my people.
Hmm.
He said, I'm trying to make sure everybody else gets money. And I was like, I can respect that.
That I will say this. When it comes to Vince, I understand why he needs to have power and control because he never had
Hmm.
it. He never had it. He was
Hmm.
always
Yes.
up against it
A
and he
lot
was
of this is deep
always
seated trauma.
trauma. That is
Yeah.
all it is. And it's
Like when
just
he
like
said he was in that room and everybody in the room was rich and they
and he
felt like they
was
could talk down on him. He was like the only poor person. He said, I
yep.
need that to be flipped. I said, that shit is shit right there.
Not
You
the
should want to be
issue
in the room with them, not with people less than you to make you feel stronger.
he
That's
claims
the
he don't
problem.
like people like that, but he is one
Is
of those people. And
I
how
was really listening. I said, that's so ironic.
I sat there and I listened to him, and what he said was really sad, to be honest. I mean,
Hmm.
and he says it with no emotion, but you can tell it still affects him because he glazes over it often, and he doesn't say it like most people will say it, and they will react to what they're saying because they relive the trauma when they speak about it, right? He's a kid and his mother is sexually abusing him. His father is physically abusing him. He has no escape. He has no safe place. Okay. So he had to create
For 12 years.
Right, no safe space. So he had to create a facade to protect himself. Okay. So he's not operating like a normal human being would because he never got the opportunity to be one. And I'm not making excuses. I'm trying to make it so that people can understand where the behavior comes from, right?
Yeah,
Because oftentimes when you're looking at people like that, you're not thinking about where the behavior came from. You just
you
don't
thinking
like the
about
behavior,
yeah.
right? And you're like, well, I don't. He's a monster. I'm like, yeah, but monsters are made usually. They are created, and in his case, he was created. His father was not there. Where the fuck were you at for
So all of a
12
sudden he just popped
years?
up, and we started talking business. I said, "You allowed that?"
And you was 12? You're 12. You're 12.
But
I
I
would have been
understand
like,
it
Dad,
because
where were you? What
like
were you doing?
around 12, 11, that's when I had to put that suppress all my feelings down, put on that deadpan.
I've never and he's never told him where he was. And he said he never asked.
That's what I would like to know.
I'm like,
Right.
what were you
I mean,
doing?
he's been dead, so I can't ask him anymore. But
Somebody need to say something. Some bitch he was messing with if she ain't dead. She know. what?
Somebody got to know.
You okay? Where were you? What were you doing?
Ancestry or something. You gotta have some family.
There gotta be some skeletons somewhere.
that's
Can't be
crazy.
the only one.
Somebody gotta know something. Cause you don't just appear after 12 years and be like, okay, I'll take him now.
Like what?
What the fuck do you mean?
He's
He's in
still better than me.
he's like in middle school by then.
That old ass ain't
Yeah,
even
yeah,
dead to
12
me.
years old. Yeah, you're about
Yeah, you are in middle school. Just
Yeah,
that's
starting.
you're about six, six, seventh
Yep.
grade.
Yep. Getting ready to start. Yep. I you got that. And then because he was living in poverty, there's a need or a sense to strive for more, right? Then he goes and
Hmm.
lives with his father, and his father is constantly reinforcing the ideal that he has to keep proving himself. So there's a need to constantly reinvent and prove yourself over and over and over again. There's no love, there's no nurturing. So, like I said,
There's a
monsters
lot
are
of you could
created.
do better.
Exactly. Exactly. There's a lot of pressure.
yeah.
And it's
All
just
right,
like
thank you.
it's just an ugly, it was an ugly, ugly cycle. And it didn't help. But then you got Vince who has a insatiable need for success, and he has a tenacity and a drive that is insane. There are certain traits that he has that I feel like you could cherry pick without adding in the weird shit that would actually work. You get what I mean? Like he bet on himself. Now a lot of people, they're not listening when they watch the documentary, right? When you watch the doc and you hear what he says, his father did give him the money, the seed money to start WWE. That's true. But he had to pay that shit back in 3 installments. And if he missed a payment, his father was going to take the company from him and he was never going to get it. He did it that way because he figured Vince would never make the money. He never would make the payments. He was like, it'll teach him a lesson. He shouldn't shoot for the stars, especially stars he can't reach. Sound like I hated him. But he fucking did it. That man made that money back and he paid his father off. The loan he took out from his father, he paid it back in 3 installments and he was done. He owned that company after that. That was nuts. Then you look at, like I said before, how he dismantled the territories. It was pretty simple. He was like, hey, I ain't had no contract with you. I didn't have no handshake of good faith with you. You did that with my dad. I'm trying to get the business up off the ground. I'm trying to make my shit pop. Fuck what you
Bitch,
talking
I'm in
about.
your city.
Right. He was like, fuck what you talking about. And this old, oh, I'm doing what I'm doing. He was like, I don't give a damn about none of that. I'm trying to build my business up. To
I'm
be
like this.
fair, I don't fucking blame him.
Yeah, I mean, I would have did it too.
I mean,
But it's like the game was so cutthroat. Y'all was threatening to kill this man,
they was threatening to kill him. Yep.
shoot him, stab him. And it's like, well, shit. If you gonna do
Told
it,
him,
go ahead.
told him he was gonna be at the bottom of the river. He was like, okay, I don't give a fuck. I was like, damn. And
I'm still whether you like
I'm
it or
still
not. My
with
purpose
you.
is still gonna work. It's
I'm
still
still
gonna go
stealing these
through.
niggas. I'm still stealing them. You,
And
I ain't
it's
dead
like
yet.
the timing of it, because the further back in time we go, the more. Let's see, the more marshmallow
Hmm.
tendencies is stronger.
Not the marshmallow tendencies.
Why
Amen.
do you feel like somebody's treading on your territory? Bitch, let's merge together. We can all get this shit.
Mm-mm.
And you can stay hosting in your town and y'all just air with my people.
Mm-mm. Can't do that.
No, this is my shit.
And
Okay.
what I
Oh well.
and what everybody was like stuck on, what I saw online a lot was people was like, it's some inaccuracies in the documentary. Like Vince didn't come up with WrestleMania, Howard Finkel did. I'm like, well, Howard Finkel came up with the name,
Not the idea.
but I was like, okay. They was like Vince wanted to call it something else. I'm like, okay,
Doesn't
so
matter.
like Howard Finkel came up with the name. It's it's not Vince's. To be honest, Vince don't have to mention none of that.
Power Finkel.
The
That's not in the
documentary
order.
folks got access to the information. They could have very easily brought up that Howard Finkel came up with the name for WrestleMania. They was like they acting like Starcade didn't exist yet, and I'm just like, I don't think that was the point. The point that they were making was that the thing that Vince McMahon did with WrestleMania, it became something that's on the level of the Super Bowl and the World Series. Those are the kind of numbers that that event does every year. And the
And
first
it
one
popped
was
off like
huge.
that.
The first one is huge. The first one popped off. And Vince had some really innovative ideas with the streaming of the shows in different cities. It was just ahead of its time, and the technology
Yeah.
didn't exist for it to work.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said that's actually some kind of fly shit.
It just
That was
wasn't,
actually doing some shit, but it was just too ahead of its time.
and it was a little too, it was all over the place. Then
Yeah.
you had the third one where he booked that venue, and it was the biggest venue in the nation at the time. And everybody's like, well, the numbers are inflated. They said it was 93,000 people in there. It was closer to 73,000 people in there. And I'm like, well, when you look at it, when I'm looking at it, it was a hell of a, there wasn't an empty seat in there.
Okay.
So I
The
don't
bitch was
know.
packed wall to wall except for
I mean,
the walkway and the stage, the walkway
it
and the
was hella
wings.
bodies in there. So it was a lot. Shit, he packed that stadium out as much as he could. Like, let's just leave it at that. They like WWE has a tendency to inflate things. And I was just like,
Why? Why would you think that?
I was like, all right.
For what?
I
To
mean, so does
who?
AEW, but
Why? AEW is the one that's inflating numbers. People are coming back saying, "Yeah, well, I was up there in nosebleeds, and they told us to move down so we can fill up the seats for the camera."
oh,
But yet it's packed. Tickets sold out. But you
it
can actually see the full pan of a WWE arena anytime they're live, which is
right.
anytime we see them, and it's packed.
When you watch the doc, you watching the steroids episode where they talk about the steroids, the conversation of CTE comes up. That one was a hard topic, but I like the fact that they focused on the neuroscientists, and they were like, Vince was like, okay, this motherfucker is not gonna stop. So I'm gonna have to do something. And instead of him like trying to disprove what he's saying, he said, "Come in and show us the data that proves what you're saying is true." And he did. The neuroscientist Chris came in and was like, "Look, these are the facts. This is what your brain looked like." This was Benoit's brain. This was his brain. He suffered from this disease. And if y'all keep doing what you're doing, a lot of y'all gonna be there too. He had wrestlers in there and everything. Now, what pissed me off, parts of this doc that pissed me off was Hulk Hogan and motherfucking Undertaker. Y'all are some bitch ass niggas. I want you to understand that. Okay? Undertaker, I don't know what's wrong with you, but your ass suffered from a concussion that damn near took you out. Okay? And you sitting up there talking about, oh, I was mad because he took away the chair shot. Fuck it. Keep getting yourself in the head. Bust yourself in the head every day. Keep on. The man trying to save your life. The man is trying to do it correctly. This neuroscientist came in there, showed you the data, showed you everything. And the first thing out your mouth is, oh, I was pissed. He took away the chair shot. Like that was a part of our business. That was a part of our storytelling. If that's all you got to tell stories, then you got a big problem on your hands. Okay, you got a big ass problem on your hands.
Not only that, Rico said that all these chair shots, you have a lifelong career. You can only remember less than half of it.
No,
And
he
you
said
talking about you don't think CTE is real?
Oh, that was Stone Cold Steve Austin who said that. He don't think it's real.
Well, he didn't say that.
He
didn't
said
say that. He didn't say that.
He said
We're gonna gloss over that part because he didn't
I
say
don't know
that
why
for
y'all
real.
trying to protect his country ass. I don't know why.
He's country. That's why it don't mean nothing. He didn't say that.
That ain't no damn
But
excuse.
Mark, you know better. Mark talking about thinking about chair shots, sir. You can't remember half your career, and it's not because of old age. But Steve didn't say that.
Yes, he did. Stop listening to him. He did. He did say that shit. Okay,
I didn't
y'all
hear it.
listen up here. You did. You did.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Shit.
Y'all are not finna sit up
Exactly.
here and gloss over that shit when you know that country bumpkin said that shit. Now, goddamn it, this is the truth.
Very much fabricated.
These motherfuckers are petty. Okay, they are being really petty today.
It sounds like fake news, honestly.
Oh, you
But
tripping?
what got me Terry ass up here going on the interview and lying? I said, sir, you're already caught.
You know what? The
You
government is stupid.
already caught.
The government's stupid. They're stupid. First of all, I'm not signing immunity to nothing until you tell me what you're gonna testify to.
Literally.
I'm not signing you into immunity till you testify what you say you're gonna testify to. Because once you testify and you testify against what you told me, you have perjured yourself, and I can put your ass in jail. Okay.
The fact that they didn't make them tell him what he was going to say was stupid on their part.
Thank you. I was like, what? I said, this man went in here and was like, I was looking at 17 years. I said, why the fuck was you looking at 17 years? What did you do?
Right. What did you do that granted you 17 years? I guess he didn't ask no question.
Sir.
Because they're all in the case of steroids, because they know you was using, and they're going to put you away for 17 years.
But also at the same time, the case itself was BS itself.
You know what a man is.
That was because how can you say he was forcing people to take steroids? But the way they were saying it,
Yeah, and
he
then
was like, they
also
was like, I
like
can
say
recall.
like okay, like someone said like it could be a thing like oh like you need to get bigger X, Y, and Z. But so many of those dudes were doing it before they even got there
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
know
in
what?
the first place.
My favorite person on this doc was Tony Atlas. He was probably one of the most transparent people on there. And he was just like, He said, Vince didn't tell me to take no damn steroids. I was doing that before I even got there. He said that was like a rite of passage. That was what the wrestlers did. And I was like, the damn doctor is the one who was selling the shit. So how did Vince get involved in it? The doctor was the one selling it.
He was like, he never directly told me, like, hey, you need to take some steroids. It was both of us working out together. He look over at me. You work out pretty good, but I think you can go harder.
Right.
You ever thought about steroids? He said, and that's the way it presented himself. He said, I don't think he ever explicitly told somebody, go get some steroids.
Even Bret Hart said he never heard him say no shit like that. And you know Bret Hart.
And you know, he's the first
And
person
Brett
to
don't give
say,
a fuck about him.
Oh, but let's talk about Bret.
Where we gonna start?
Some of y'all gonna be mad at me, but Bret Hart fucked himself. Okay.
He did.
he did.
Sorry, but he fucked himself. Now
It was
I ain't saying
business
that
move.
Vincent is absolved of his bullshit. I'm not saying that, but he forced his hand. That's all I'm saying. Because all he had to do was just drop the damn title. He was going to WCW anyway.
Right. Because you don't like somebody, you're not gonna drop the title. Who the fuck do you think you are to tell me about my business? You got to drop this shit whether you like it or not.
That Mortadella, AJ needs to go in the trash. This right here.
Just
What the
because he didn't
hell?
like Sean. It is not high school. We understand. Sean was
And
terrible.
that's what
Sean
it
will tell you
sounded
he was
like.
terrible.
He
That's
says
besides
he's
the
terrible.
point. He was.
He says
This
it.
shit sound like it was high school. This is little kid ass drama.
And you know what I find about Bret Hart?
His wife, she was doing the
She was
fucking
so mad.
You
most.
know
I
what I said?
just,
Oh my
bitch,
God.
sit your ass down.
He was like,
She
you're
Ain't
said,
going to have
nobody
to answer
killed
to God.
nobody in that instance.
I said, ma'am. I said, girl, this is wrestling. Ain't nobody, he didn't kill nobody. Well, not yet. But he didn't.
Hearts are crazy.
I'm sorry. He did it was a wrestling show. And it was like, and you did it in Montreal of all places. I'm like, well, where the hell else was he supposed to do it? I said, girl, please go sit the fuck down. Triple H was like, I swear I didn't know.
I was like, you a fucking liar. I said, you never should have even said that.
He's such a terrible actor.
He did. You could tell on his face. I said, you should have just went in the office somewhere.
I would have just sat down. I would just be like, bro, listen, I don't
And
know nothing about
dissociated the
this.
whole time. They've been like, huh? I'd act like somebody busted my eardrum.
It was a mess.
Brett was childish for that.
Then he says
I'm
when
dying.
Owen Hart got hurt, he said he thought that maybe WWE killed him because of him.
Like, you think too highly of yourself.
Yeah, you gave me way too much.
That's all I would have said. And I know that sounds like a dick move after, your brother
Tone
just
it down
died
there.
and kind of in my hands. But you thinking too highly of yourself
I was like,
to think that I hate you that much. As a matter of fact, I don't even hate you. But to think that you think that I hate you that much to want to kill your brother
it's
is
crazy.
crazy.
On
That's
live
actually
TV.
insane.
On live TV and damn near ruin your business in the process. Because
To teach you a lesson, I already
that went,
taught you a lesson, bitch. You dropped the title to who I told you was gonna drop it to. That was the lesson.
I said that is very that was very self-serving. I was like, for you to make it about you and your own brother was gone. I said that was an interesting way of looking at it.
But Vince was like, we went through all that just to find out it was the manufacturer's problem.
He was like, well, they came back and told me it was the manufacturer. It was faulty. But they did leave some parts out because Owen Hart told them that something was wrong with that harness.
Mm-hmm.
He did tell them that. And Vince Russo was like, your ass need to do what I'm telling you to do. Get your ass up there and do it. Those was the things that they left out.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they did sue the manufacturer, but they should have fired Vince Russo, but they didn't. Not until later. But WWE got sued. They had a lot of lawsuits against them. I said, God damn.
Um, for somebody that didn't like soft spots on people, he definitely had a soft spot. I feel
He
like
did.
Pat Patterson
Oh,
kind of
Oh
manipulated him,
gosh.
oh no, like this what they say to about all the gay men, like all the gay men's not doing that. That's just what they be saying.
I did not know about those ring boys.
I didn't either.
I didn't.
I so I think I talked about this before, or like talked on the podcast
Ooh,
before that my grandma was like a big like old school fan, especially like during like the territories and like surely love like obviously like that's where like my love of the Von Erichs came and X, Y, and Z, so on and so on.
Mhm.
So
He's in here.
this is like years ago, and I low key wish she was alive so I could ask her what year this was. But WWE came into town, and this is when they were still doing the Ring Boys. And then it was like my cousin. It was like two. It was my cousin, and I think I don't know if it was another cousin or his friend or somebody. And they were trying to do it, and then my grandma was like told my cousin no, and told friend no, friend's mom to be no. And then she was like, because she was like, I heard that they beat, I forgot how she worded it, how he said that she worded it or something like, oh no, I heard like, they be doing some shit over there, but so you can't do that.
Oh, that really just that was very disheartening. And then Pat Patterson was able to keep his job, and I'm like, he's a sexual predator. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, well, so was Vince, so
Hmm.
should have known better. And I'm like, so many people was coming forward saying he was being inappropriate. Tony Allen said the man grabbed his balls, grabbed at his penis and shit. And the dude interviewer was like, well, did you say something? He was like, who was I gonna tell?
Said tell who? The
Right.
boss was his friend. It's my HR. Bitch, what
You
have you
got
done any research at all on this business?
I
Because
never
even I
Googled
knew
this
there
shit.
was no
There is
HR.
no
Damn it,
human
it's barely an
resources.
HR today.
Child.
There's still no human resources.
There's no fucking HR.
He said
I could have told you that, and I don't even work in the business yet.
he was very transparent about the women. He said the women, we used them. They were objects. And I said, well, at least you was honest.
Hmm. At least somebody knew.
But he was completely transparent the whole documentary. And Dave Meltzer,
Oh,
I don't like that man, but
he wasn't that much of a kiss
he
ass.
wasn't a dick. He was generally
He's,
speaking facts the whole
yes.
fucking documentary. And I was just like, this is bizarre as hell.
I guess because, like, this ain't opinionated base. You
Mm.
don't have a take on something. This is shit that actually happened.
Yes, and
You
that's
live to
where
see and tell
he
it.
thrives, and that's where he's always been good at. When you start asking him for his opinion, that's when things get weird.
A little
That's when
sticky.
things get goofy. And
It's
that's
when
when I
it gets
want him to
weird.
shut up.
Because man, I was like, well, damn, Dave, if you was like this on a regular basis, I'd listen to you.
Right.
But you be acting like a straight up piece of shit. Like, I'm like, damn. But I liked the documentary because it was balanced, right? And
Hmm.
it wasn't just focusing because there's only so much about Vince you can talk about, and it was supposed to be about the stark contrast between his character and him anyway. And I think a lot of people went into the documentary with the wrong idea of what they were watching.
They
They
I
thought
was
thought,
expecting to get some dirt.
they were watching an expose. That's what they thought they were getting. Like we was gonna get some TMZ type of Diddy type shit or surviving Vince McMahon type of documentary. That's not what the doc was about.
No.
So what
And
you
quite frankly, you're not going to get that with a literal ongoing federal investigation. And that's what I want people to also realize, because they did, because obviously before everything came out, Janelle Grant was mentioned via a Jane Doe,
yeah.
which I'm not trying to sound shitty, but and again, like, I hope this lady, whatever, just is served, blase, blase, all of that fun stuff. But at the same time, I was perplexed at how she was able to get that payout, yet turn around and sue.
Because he never finished paying her.
Okay, that's what it was. All right.
He only made one payment. And that's when she decided to go ahead and sue because he never finished paying out all the money he owed her. I thought that too. So when that doc came out, when the document came out on the Wall Street Journal, I read that whole article. I read it twice because I was trying to understand exactly what was happening. The first time the info came out, it was focusing only on the money because that's what the problem was with the SEC and everything. They felt like he was embezzling money from the company because he used company funds to pay out these briberies or these silent payments, right? With her specifically, he owed her money. He only made one payment. That 1 million, he paid her 1 million. He never paid her anymore. And because he never made good on the payments, she went on ahead and sued. Now, they also mentioned in the doc Brock Lesnar. The last episode was where the Janelle Grant situation came in. I saw the statement that her lawyers put out. And again, to piggyback off what Nicole said, that lady do deserve her justice. But they didn't say that it was a consensual affair. What they said was Vince McMahon framed it as a consensual affair. What do you want? I'm gonna eat it. She framed it as a he framed it as a consensual affair. They didn't say that it was a consensual affair. And I saw that the attorney was just like, to say it was a consensual affair is a slap in the face to my client. I was like, well, that's not what the doc said. That's not what they said. They said that Vince McMahon said that this was a consensual affair. That's what they said. So after that, it went into light detail about it. And there was supposed to be some more in that documentary, but Vince and the rest of WWE, because they were being sued, they stopped filming for the doc completely. There was like at least another hour or two. They said there was I saw that there was an article that I missed. I wanted to talk about it because they said it was a part that they cut out because Vince's voice was all gravel voiced and he sounded like a frog. Mm-hmm. I was like, he sounded like a frog all the time. I don't know why you cut that out. He sounded like a frog all the time. Hold on, because I think I did post it on my Instagram. It was a topic that they said they really wanted to talk about, and they had it, and it was up, and they was gonna put it out there, but they couldn't because Vince's voice was shot. It was shot to shit. And they was like, we can't put this out. They was gonna re-record it and put it up, but then the situation with Janelle Grant came out, and they ended up shutting down the documentary after that. But I will say, like, it is very interesting. It's a very interesting documentary. You're gonna get some insight into Vince McMahon, and he likes to try to remain mysterious. He wants people to keep asking questions about him. He likes to be like considered like a man of mystery. Like, nobody really knows me. but you don't really let people get to know you either. But then again, you do, because I see right through you. I see a very troubled individual, and I see somebody who doesn't really understand what real love is or what a real relationship could be. I see somebody who really enjoys being in control because they never had the opportunity to have control. And once they gained a taste of it, it began to become very addictive. And that's why people like him are so successful in business, because they have no cares or regards for those who work for them or who are competing against them. It is all about the art of attaining and success. You got to keep driving, because and more and more and more feeds into that need to be able to have accumulate. It's like being a part. Have you ever watched Star Trek? The Borg's entire existence is to assimilate and control. They do not have any other goal, is to just assimilate. They are like amoebas, they're parasites. They immediately grab you, bring you into the fold, and you now work for the hive mind. And that's how he operates. There is one telling thing that he said about how his brain works, which I thought was very interesting. He refers to his brain as three different computers. One part was able to function enough to be able to answer the questions the way that the brain needed it to be answered. The other part was thinking about sex, which is very telling, which means he has an addiction to it, but he's very
Yes.
much a sexual deviant. He's a deviant. So anytime you're sitting there having a conversation with somebody and the first thing you're thinking about is having sex, you have an addiction. There's something wrong with that. And he's like, I'm thinking about having a lot of fun right now, and it has to do with sex. I was like,
Thank you.
well,
Appreciate
I do
that
not want to think
tip.
about your old ass pumping, but okay, sure, whatever makes you happy.
Never imagined it till now.
It's
Thank you.
gross. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah.
I
But
didn't even
I was
want to
like, oh
see
hell
it
no.
in my
I
head.
was like, why would you say that out loud? You could have just said, I'm thinking about having fun. And then the interviewer was like, well, what's your version of fun? I'd be like, that's for me to know, man. Like that, I like to have a good time, and I know what my good time means.
Oh
You
yeah, I like to have a
obviously,
little fun.
like, you don't know, have no,
A
you don't
little
have no
something
coot.
here and there. Cut
It's
that
the
out.
best way to explain it.
Cut that out. Cut that out.
You don't have no fucking coos. You know what I'm saying?
Where's the class?
The one part that made me cry was Shane McMahon's situation.
Yeah.
Shane is everybody. I didn't like the fact that I saw that a lot of people were saying that Shane is weaker than Stephanie, and Stephanie's just she's hard ass, and you have to understand Stephanie is a woman in a male driven business. She has to be that way. If she
She would
wasn't,
not have survived.
thank
She
you.
If
literally
it
would not
wasn't
have
hard.
survived.
Thank you. So she has to be that way, not only because of who her father is, but just for the mere fact that she is a woman. Otherwise, she would have got railroaded. Okay. Shane McMahon, on the other hand, does not exhibit the behaviors his father does. He is more likened to his mother, and he actually has a conscience, which to me makes him a better human being, number one. And number two, he actually did rebuff against a lot of the things that they wanted to do. Like Linda would go gun ho. Whatever Vince wanted to do, she was into it. But then again, when you think about when they met, she was 13. He was 17.
Mm.
No, he was like 15.
He said he was 17. I remember I watched it
They were
twice.
17.
He
He
was
was
I don't know why I
17.
thought he was younger than that.
No, he was 17. She was 13. Then he says they got married when she was 19.
16.
No, he said 19.
when he was 19.
She
No,
was.
that couldn't be. Well, I mean, at that time, that ain't really unheard of.
I don't know. I don't like it. It
I don't
stank.
like it either, but it's like people, grandparents be like, "Oh yeah, they got he met her when he was 19, she was only 14," type shit.
It don't sound right then, and it don't sound right now. I don't
I'm
like
not
it.
No.
saying it sound right, but of that time, that's what it was.
It
Yeah.
stank. I was sitting here. I'm like, nobody is asking questions. Everybody just like, oh, okay. I was
Because
like,
it makes sense.
she was 13.
Let's see. Hold on. Let's do some math.
But you
Oh,
think about it. Again, I'm not defending this man,
give me
but
oh,
how developed mentally do you think he would have been at that age, anyways? Like,
mentally he probably
That was
was in the same
1962,
level as
so
her.
yeah,
yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
that
Like,
makes sense.
I'm not trying to defend the situation, but again, what we've known via like his upbringing.
Yeah, I don't like it. Cause it just
No.
lends more credence to his sexual behavior, and I feel like a lot of shit was overlooked because nobody was fucking paying attention.
Also, so my big thing is that he's all these multiple affairs,
Yeah,
and X, Y, and Z, but no one asked Linda about it on camera.
no,
Right. Why nobody ask Linda?
That was my issue because he even said he was.
All it said was, what was it? A statement that said he knew that she was hurt and how bad she was hurt.
Yeah, and I don't even know who said it.
Yeah, it
So
said,
that's
I
what
think it said
made.
this in the article. No,
So
he said it
again,
in Playboy.
yes,
That's where he put it at.
and then he reiterated it somewhat in the doc, sort of.
Hmm.
they never questioned her about none of that. Either that or she chose not to speak on it. I don't know. I would have talked about it.
I would have been asking her all sorts of shit. Linda was on our cabinet
Okay.
for the United States government. I need people to realize that.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't she running for senator or something like that?
No, well, she
She
did,
was small
but she was
business.
part of the small business. She was the head of the small business
She
bureau.
was
Oh
head of
yeah,
small business. She was in Trump's cabinet.
yeah.
Yep. One of the only people he had in there that he actually appointed because he never filled out his cabinet.
Mm-mm.
No,
He was busy.
Which I was just like, I don't know how you was running this country and didn't have people in place over all the departments. Fucking
That's
weirdo.
probably some of those stuff. Women was probably qualified for it. He was like, no, uh-uh.
So if you haven't
Too
watched the
many women.
documentary yet, you definitely
why is this
should.
match so long? My God.
It's a good watch. I promise y'all it's a good watch.
It is. I was able to read that man like a book. Overall, what killed me is how you want loyalty for your business, but you're not showing people loyalty back. That was crazy.
All right. NXT debuted yesterday and it
Yeah, I
did
like
big
that
numbers
show.
on the CW network. It did massive numbers.
As it should.
It was a very good show. And Shawn Michaels did what Shawn Michaels does.
I need to have a conversation with Shawn Michaels.
He swerved that shit out of us yesterday.
He
I'm
did.
so mad because as soon as I saw that match was first, I was like, oh my God, she's retaining.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to believe it.
Oh, well,
She was upset yesterday, y'all.
She was
Nicole about
mad.
ready to
She said,
fight.
"I'm gonna
Because,
crash
and this is,
the
and I'm not
fuck
trying to sound like
out."
one of those fans. I don't like how she was pinned already.
Mm.
That's my big issue.
And she only had
If
like
you
what,
do
one
it,
match.
yes, I don't like how she was pinned already.
Hmm.
Again, I know we always have this conversation. We're not the bookers, we're people, we're not the people in the business, X, Y, and Z. But in my opinion, again, look how great Mariah May looks. If again
Mm.
they want to do the thing with Cora X, Y, and Z, um I would have just done that fucking count out bullshit.
Or have
Yeah,
Cora just completely interrupt the match.
No,
right.
I would have had her because it can't change hands via count out. They could have done it where
Or DQ.
she hits her, did the same thing, leaves her out, and then she just passed and she doesn't make it in the ring in time.
I see what you mean. Save
I would
face
have,
for
yes,
Julia.
it's just her getting pinned already is just crazy.
Protect Julia, but you also protecting Roxanne.
Yes.
I get you.
Like I would have done something like that. So not wonky enough that people would get mad, but at the same time, I would have saved that pin.
Unfortunately,
And
Sean
also
got
at the
it
same time,
together
like Roxanne they gotta take that off of her. She's had it for how long now?
a while.
She's
Shit,
had it
I
for a
don't know. It's
while
almost
now,
been a
and it's
year.
no offense to her, but also she low key needs to go up by now.
I
Who
guess
she beat?
Like
Tiffany?
it's almost turning into
a Mandy moment.
no, not even no, I'm talking about like they're in NXT too long. It's
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
starting to turn into Gargano and
Like
Ciampa.
that's yeah. That's what
that
she was
is.
saying.
And in my opinion, and again, this is and to me that is also one of the reasons I feel like they're having a lot harder time connecting with the main audience.
I have to agree. I think they should have a time limit on how long they should be in NXT. They shouldn't be in NXT past 2 years, in my opinion. Unless they
Yes.
have, like, if you're on the TV consistently for a year to 2 years, you are on TV and in feuds, you're wrestling consistently on TV, you need to come up after that. But if you only getting spots where you're only having, opportunities on TV once or twice, you have no storyline, then you stand in NXT longer, I can understand. But somebody like Roxanne, who's been on TV since her ass got there, nah, she need to go up.
And not only that, but she's been there since yes, Queen Aminata's on Dynamite. I love that.
Period.
But also at the same time, um she also at the same time the only people that should be in NXT longer than 2 years is unless someone's like fresh on the boat. I mean like what like them NIL program people.
Yep. The building stars, people like
Yes, those are the
Brindley.
only people who have a prime reason to be there past 2 years. Roxanne literally was Ring of Honor Women's Champion right before she got there.
True.
Mm.
So Roxanne has been champion for 178 days.
She
Yeah,
was
something like that.
not
It seems like she's
she
been
was
champion
not
longer than
in there
that.
that long. So
It
that's
seems
what I'm
like she.
saying. Like she does not need to be in there that long. My so that's what I'm saying. Like I don't want her to have Johnny Gargano issues.
Um, so NXT had a pretty decent showing on their first night on the CW network. They look like a main roster show, I will say that.
Look very expensive.
They looked like a main roster show. That stadium was packed out to the rafters for NXT. I was very happy for them. I thought Julia was gonna lose maybe net last week, but I was unsure.
Honestly, I would have rather her lost last week to be real if they were going to do this.
But this was like the first show. I don't know where Sean going with this, but we just gonna have to ride this out and see where it's headed. Cause Cora only gonna be her friend, but for so long.
Right.
Yeah, and people were like, I saw people that they said they're like, well, what if they're going to do a fatal four way with,
Cora, Stephanie, and Julia.
you know?
Mm.
Cora gonna win because the title was meant for Cora anyway. They didn't want to get that shit back to Roxanne. She was the one they was gonna give it to.
Yeah, she's supposed to go up.
Now, according to the results of the viewers and everything, NXT had a total of 895,000 total viewers, up 44% from last week. They had their peak audience was 965,000 viewers. The Tuesday night prime time went up by 143% in total viewers, and it's the strongest telecast on the CW this year among adults in y'all favorite demo of 18 to 49 and adults 25 to 54. So it looked like a change in venue gave y'all a big uptick in the views.
Also, I think this was from a Fightful report that the ring and everything set up was broken down in the PC.
Oh shit. Well, they get their room back.
Um, I don't think they're going to go travel every week, but I do think that they're going to change locations.
I'm happy about that. It being in the PC it gave it a very small feel. Them being able to travel though, whether it be minimal or kind
Yeah,
of help
people were trying to say
understand.
Vegas, and I was like, I was like, that venue looks small unless they got a bigger space there.
That venue they did that PLE out of, I hate it. The
Yeah,
UFC one,
I said it's too small.
they don't
I
never
was like,
need to
I
go
low
back
key
there.
think it's too
Superstars
small for the
hated it.
UFC.
That was worse than them being in the damn performance center.
Oh my god.
It sucked. Then them superstars hated it. They hated it. But let me tell y'all. So Roxanne retained her championship against Julia because Cora Jade interfered with her new titties. And it's her third pair, so she came out there with the new ones. And
They knew.
right. Wesley fine ass beat the shit out of Zachary Wentz.
No, before you go on to that, that was actually a really good match. I need balloon titties to relax.
Balloon titties is crazy.
I mean, they are bigger than her head.
Did she lie though?
I heard looking like Natalia and shit.
Natalia got her beat.
Barely.
Slap fight.
Natalia got her beat.
Like every time she gets hurt, she gets that fixed, and then she gets some new titties.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, well, might as well. I'm sitting here anyway.
I mean, I'm glad she stopped touching her face, but damn. Which it looks great now. It's settled. I'm like, please, please don't touch it again.
Just don't put no more fillers in your lips.
Don't put no more fillers. Don't get nothing tucked. Don't get not. It looks great. Leave it alone, please.
So
She got up taking them shits out in 2 years like everybody else does.
okay.
She's good. She's probably spent all this money on all them rounds of titties just to get mad at them and take them out in a couple years, literally like they all do.
She said rounds of titties like it was shots.
Shots.
I can't word. I love this street fight because they were trying to kill each other. They was throwing each other through boards. Niggas got put through makeshift boards. People got dove on. Backs was cracked with chairs and kendo sticks. Wesley tagged that ass. And he won. And that's all that matters. That shit was sexy. I don't care what nobody say. I fucks with it. I do.
It's so hot.
Hold on.
I would be somebody's valet. Especially a woman. I'd be Jay's valet.
You be whose valet?
Jay.
Ew.
That's so hot.
I'm Mariah May. I'd be Mariah May's valet, even if I have to work at AEW.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, I'm on the same type of time y'all on.
Actually,
Don't
no, I
fucking
work
talk
there
to
because
me.
he be letting people do whatever the fuck they want.
You do?
Child, like you broke bitches don't talk to us. Champion coming through. Champions coming through.
I'd have been like a period. While Mariah's fucking crashing out over something, I'll be like, period, sis. They're like, she is crazy. I'll be like, that's my girl. It's like she
Oh, what
got this
that
girl
mean?
bleeding everywhere. I was like, she's just. I was like, it's just. I was like, I'll take a page out of Bret Hart's book. I was like, it's art. She's an artist.
I can't
Let
with
her
her.
paint. I can't believe Dynamite's this old. That's crazy.
Look, it's 5 years old.
Good for them.
I thought, oh, maybe they gotta, beat out WWE for 83 weeks. To
Well,
actually get some traction.
Oh, God, who's this tag team on there? And I fucking love them. Oh, what is their names? I'm blanking so bad. I follow one of them on Instagram. I'm so mad. But they remind you of, you remember like back in like the 80s and 90s, like those old school like tag teams with the fucking bright ass colors and the dumb sunglasses, and they're just lifting weights and fighting and just like showy and just all sorts of just like dumb shit. This is what they remind me of, and it's not cheesy. It's just so good, and I can't. Why am I blanking on their names? And I like pop for them. They're so good. I really want them to do more with them. I'm pissed. They got them with fucking FTR half the time, and I'm like, ugh, get them away from them.
I think you're gonna have to go pick
The
them up.
private party just win.
You haven't delivered it. All right.
That wasn't even a match. Why are you flexing? You didn't even get tagged in.
Obafemi and Tony D'Angelo were on Miz TV. Miz was getting booed out the rafters because he turned on R-Truth.
Welcome back.
It was inevitable. So
Welcome back.
I mean, he been a face for a while, and like I said, every time he turned face, they really don't give him much, which I
They
don't
don't give a
understand.
shit.
I really don't understand that, and I feel like forcing him to drop the titles right before they got to SummerSlam, and SummerSlam was in his hometown was some bullshit.
They did that to him. That's what made me. They did that to him and they did that to Johnny. I said, that's crazy.
That was crazy. Both of them is from Cleveland, and you couldn't even let them go into SummerSlam as champions. And
They
I
could
did
have
not.
launched at SummerSlam, both of them.
That's what I was saying. At least they would have been on the card.
Yeah.
Like,
And I was like, that's fucked up. But Whatever.
Johnny's was worse because it was literally the day before.
Yeah, and
I
then
was
his
like,
dad
that's
pizza shop
childish. I said, who did that?
his
Hunter.
dad's pizza shop burned to the ground. Burned to the ground.
When I say that's why I couldn't be around, because if that was me, I'd be like, you got to release me
Oh shit.
I
immediately.
understand why I couldn't lose at home. I'd rather lose at home
I
than
walked
everybody
up.
get there.
I would have had been laying down and acting like I'm so hurt and shit like that. And but nope, I would have got my ass up, no soul, walked to the back, release me right now.
That's
Land on the locker room
crazy.
floor.
Now, out of everybody that was from Cleveland, they let Logan Paul.
Out of all the motherfucking people, like thank goodness he lost. But still, that's
But
because his little Tatiana fiance was she said whatever. Well, I think she had a baby finally, but
okay, good for
She
her.
had to be 8 months at that point. 8 or
I don't
7
know. The two of the worst people couldn't have been together, so good for them. He's got a loser and a whore.
Oh,
She
Four.
is.
Nicole, please.
That girl was a bopping and slurping and everything. Every man that had some type of clout for X amount of years, and then she
Uh,
landed with Logan Paul because she was able to throw that thing long enough that he was mesmerized that he decided he wanted to put a ring on it. You know how
great.
ran through that girl is allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly.
I
I am not
don't
touching that.
know.
I'm not
My
touching
friend
that.
might tell a joke or two, but she'll never tell a lie.
I ain't say she was
Allegedly.
lying. I ain't say that. I'm just gonna say it's alleged
Allegedly, so you can't say nothing.
because they will come after you.
Allegedly. This is just from what I heard from allegedly.
Well, I
Allegedly.
saw it, so
She saw with her own 2 eyes.
I've seen it. But
You're a
anyway,
whore. Allegedly.
Obafemi, the overconfident North American champion that he is, essentially told Tony D'Angelo that you're still scared and I'm gonna beat you and you're just gonna be another footnote in my legacy. Tony made it very clear that he was gonna beat Obafemi next week. I am gonna say I do believe he's gonna win next week.
And I am gonna hate every part of it.
I
Sean did
think
not
he's
book
Yeah.
any of this for me.
Um, I'm no fool. He's playing him for a fool. Obafemi is doing exactly what Tony wants him to do right now. And that's be
overconfident.
overconfident and think that you
Overconfident.
can overcompensate me. You beat me once. I almost had you, but you beat me.
Yep.
Now I'm act like my confidence is shook.
Mm-hmm.
So your confidence will be boosted and I come in and dog walk through stupid ass.
Or he do some underhanded shit and use a crowbar on his knee and take him out.
Okay?
Which I wouldn't be mad at because it'd be on
Jump him in the
brand.
parking lot.
Right. I
Oba was
mean,
like, he said you can take out as many men, you can do all this, you can call the shots. Yeah, you can make good men disappear in the river. But the thing you can't do is beat me.
now the
Crazy.
influencer bitches had a match with Jada and Lola yesterday. Them
Toxic
hoes
Attraction
came out like they
2.0.
had no conversation.
That's when I start crashing out again.
They just
No, because I felt the same thing when she said I'm about to crash the fuck out again. I was like, no, I agree. Because why do
And
we
then
need three bitches
Rico,
having
I don't
sex?
know where you at trying to talk about. Well, they had green. I don't want to hear it.
No, those were new gear. They were still ugly though.
I
Those
don't
was
care.
new.
It's still tacky.
and the
Oh, I'm about to
girls
see
that
it
be
now. That
walking
shit was
around
ugly.
with them damn Lululemon one pieces be killing me. That's the only thing
Yeah.
she wear. I'm like, girl.
I was so flabbergasted. Oh, MVP.
Period.
Love this for him.
Sure.
Oh, he's shaved his beard down a little too much. Unky is come on, you gotta let it grow out a little bit more.
Why is he out there?
Nothing. He's talking to Renee's raggedy ass.
They
Prince
say it's
Nana
supposed to
has a
make it.
coffee. I didn't know that. Because I don't like that person he's with, but I do like Prince Nana, so I might buy some of that. MVP, why are you trying to disrespect another OG? Anyways, who is he talking about? Oh, Shelton!
Yeah,
Are we surprised?
No, but
y'all
I'm
went over
happy to
there.
see him.
Bobby is not gonna be too far behind.
Bobby is living his best life on TikTok, trying burgers.
Hell no.
I'm dead serious. He has
Stop
a
playing with me.
series, and I will watch it where he just
Stop
goes
playing.
around and he's trying
That
to
shit
find the
probably
best
boring
burger.
too.
It's so funny.
You are lying. I don't believe
I'm
you.
dead serious. It is so funny. I said, "Oh, he's just living his best fucking life." I said, I know that's right. Oh, Brody Lee tribute. Oh.
So
This stipulation is just fucking asinine. Like, who came up with this?
the Fatal Influence hoes went up against Jada and Lola. At first, Jada and Lola looked like they was able to hold their own as a team. But Fatal Influence leaned on the fact that Lola and Jada really don't like each other. So there was an instance where one of the influence hoes was trying to attack Jada. Lola kicked her and took her out. And it appeared to Jada that Lola tried to kick her. Lola tried to tell her, hey, one of them hoes was coming at you. And she was like, no, this your one and your only. This your last time. The match continues. The little bitch with the thin ponytails kept getting involved in the match. Meanwhile, Kaylani was sitting pretty over in the corner. She didn't
She
move,
wasn't even fucking
didn't
worried. She
come
said,
in
"I
to
knew this
try to
shit
stop him from
was gonna
cheating.
happen."
She she sat her ass there at that desk and was talking with Vic and Booker and did not move. They did there was another instance where Lola ended up being pushed into to Jada. Jada got pushed off the apron and she was like, that's your last one. I'm
She
done.
said, "Oh, bitch, I'm gone."
She left her in there. Lola ended up trying to fight. She almost had the match, honestly, with just her. But there was no way she was gonna be able to best all of them. And they have a pretty good finisher as a team. They really do. I like their finisher, but they're terrible as a cohesive unit. They're horrible because they all trying to be individuals while still having a common goal, and it just don't look right. It looks like y'all was thrown together and y'all some ragtag tag team. At least with JC and
And
Gigi.
also, it's like, if you're a group, why is your comp a singles championship? Who's gonna go for that
Yeah.
belt? Like, that's what it makes no sense. So who out of you is going for that belt?
And why are you reaching so to the mid card? Like my thing was, if you're gonna take over the division, North American champions don't take over the division. They take over. You take over the division by getting the women's championship. So why you not calling out Roxanne?
Are you scared
Well,
of Roxy?
especially it's three against one, because you pick
Exactly.
one of you to be like, okay, you're gonna get the belt, but us two are gonna be backups.
Right. Now, if you was going after both titles, because it's three of y'all, then I can understand that.
Or hell, even a tag of titles.
The tag team titles are coming into play later. Fatal Influence picked up the win, and Lola ended up rolling out the ring, and then they decided to grab the microphone. Like they just whooped ass when all they did was cause confusion and then hit their finisher. Because majority of that match, Lola and Jada was whipping both of their asses. Okay? And they actually worked well as a team. And I low-key wish Lola and Jada would be a tag team because they actually would work very well with each other.
I like them both together.
I like them together as well, and I
Two
think they
bad
should
bitches.
consider it. Don said she should join with OTM, which I wasn't mad at it. He said you could get a nice little chola thing going on, and I was like, sure, whatever makes you happy.
Chula up a bit. She could
Do
be
whatever makes you
sexy.
happy. Um, they got on the microphone and was like,
Going
since
night night.
we already letting y'all know we won. We are taking over the division. I'm like, this is the first match y'all done won as a collective in a very long time. So you haven't really been doing nothing. Between you and KFC over on the Raw roster, y'all are some very delusional losers. Is the best way to explain it. Kaylani was like, I knew y'all was gonna do this, so I had a plan B, because Booker T was on commentary talking cash shit. He was like, is this your plan B? Was this your plan B? But when that motherfucking music hit for Bianca and Jade, all that shut down.
I literally threw my phone.
One no more grab a face. Booker T complained, and Vic was like, Book, you're silent. And we was like, yes, appreciate it. Them hoes came out there and they even the odds.
Booker was sitting there with his just ain't ass face.
Period. JC Jane got a quick boot to the face. Baby, Fallon almost suffered a KOD. And y'all know that little influencer hoe was nowhere to be found because she can't compete. You can't
She ran away so fast.
She ran. Okay. Tag team
I ran too. I got the fuck out. I said,
and Nicole said, as soon as Jade came out there with some boots on that didn't have a heel,
this bitch ready to fight. I'm going. That's a big bitch. I'm sorry.
That's what I said. I said,
No.
she too much of a big bitch for that. I don't got time for all that.
Nicole said I would have been gone. Yeah, the first bitch out of there. No, you got it.
I'd have left both them bitches. I would have walked to the back. I wouldn't even been on the ramp.
Somebody need to let me make that a ring, a little reel.
I would have waved the bag, grabbed my bags, and went home.
Hell no.
That's how
as soon as I hear Jay's entrance. Fuck this.
Now next week, because they came out to aid Kaylani, it's gonna be Kaylani and Jade and Bianca versus Fatal Influence in a 6-woman tag next week when they go to St. Louis. Okay. Which I'm actually looking
they're gonna give them people barbecue at the end of the show.
Bitch.
That was crazy.
CM Punk know he ain't shit for that.
He said he was about to say be us. I say he's like, oh no, I ain't paying for that bill.
He said, not me. We.
He was like, it's on us. Us. As in us, all of us.
The
WWE, NXT, the people. The last match of the night was the big one. The NXT Championship was on the line. I forgot to mention earlier that there were new belts. They gave new belts. They do remind you of the UFC belts. They have a little bit of a stronger, thicker branding of the NXT brand. The changing of the brand, the way the NXT logo looks is silver, completely silver now. It's no longer gold. Everything has shifted. So all of the brands have a comparable brand look. Everything looks cohesive. But CM Punk was your special guest referee in this match with Trick Williams and Ethan Page. And this match was okay. The match itself probably would have worked a little bit better in terms of both athletes' athleticism if CM Punk wasn't there. But I was fine with him being there. It just he distracted from the match because Ethan Page wasn't focusing. He was just trying to hurry up, beat Trick, and be done with it. And they're gonna run this back because he's gonna blame CM Punk for him losing this title. Okay. I want y'all to understand that. For majority of the match, every time he would get Trick Williams down, he was yelling at CM Punk to count right. He kept getting in his face. You know, he was very much all over CM Punk this whole fucking time. And CM Punk was just telling him, like, look, I'm counting the match as it is. He tried to cheat by putting his feet on the ropes to pin Trick. CM Punk caught it. All kind of shit was happening, okay? Now, towards the end, Trick Williams hit Ethan Page with that high knee, which he gets pretty high on that fucking knee. I don't know how he had him hops like that, but he gets really high and he knocked Page out and he got the W. And Trick Williams now is a 2-time NXT champion. He has won the title. Okay, now my theory is the reason why Ethan Page dropped the title and Trick Williams got it is because very soon Trick Williams is gonna get pulled up, but they gotta start getting Trick Williams into a new feud, and you can, but you can't have a heel drop the title to a heel. They seem to be more into the heel drop into a face and the face drop into the heel. That's the way that they've been doing it the last couple of years. And I suspect that Trick Williams is more than likely going to end up dropping that title either to Wesley or Obafemi. One of them is going to be NXT champion by next year, Stand and Deliver. One of them is going to be NXT champion, and I suspect it's going to be Wesley.
Yeah.
Okay. Because Wesley, I think, is going to be the one who's going to win the Iron Survivor Challenge for the men in December. And I think that's how they're going to lead into the feud between him and Trick Williams if they don't do it earlier than that.
Hopefully this year's women match is good again.
You said what?
So hopefully this year's women's match is good again. But I would think that they would get the point this time. Get you some pins in. Beat a bitch up in the penalty box.
I mean, I hope
Shit.
I hope that they do, because the men's match was much better. It just was.
It was 2 times in a row. I'm like, y'all sitting here laid out. Ain't nobody fighting.
You know what sent me, and I didn't really get to see it. Well, you know, they have that hard out time, so I didn't get to see it. I saw a clip. Ethan Page is literally still rolling in the ring, and they're doing that segment about the pizza.
Yeah, he was still laid out.
He's still, you can see his legs and everything.
Now he's still laid out.
Ethan, roll out.
No,
he's so goofy. Like, I think he's doing this on purpose.
I just lay there.
I see he doing this on purpose. Not you still laying there.
And you know what?
He said, I'm finna sell this shit.
Pizza. They got boxes. They got actual boxes of pizza.
I saw tables full of them outside that fans were going to.
I said, who paid for that? Pizza, but they were giving them like personal size pan, like whole pizzas. They were getting.
I know that. I know them people.
I know whoever that was. They got paid.
I know them people who was working at that shit was angry because I wouldn't fit.
We gotta do how many? Shit, I quit out this bitch. He ain't finna work. You like no slave for $15.
That's crazy to me. I heard you.
When Chicago, you ain't finna work. You like no slave for $17.
That was nuts. That was nuts, y'all. But we're moving into Bad Blood. Next week for NXT, they're going to be in St. Louis, and Sexy Red is bringing her stinking ass back. And
performing. That's what she going to perform. Pound Town, what is going on?
I don't know, but she's supposed to be there. And then,
no, she's performing.
I don't know if she's going to perform. I don't
know.
No,
it said
no,
it.
They said she's performing.
She don't have no clean version of nothing.
That's not for us to figure it out. That's Sean's problem.
They don't have to go on mute for me because I don't like Sexy Red music enough to listen to that.
But the only song I like is "Get It Sexy" and "Pound Town."
I don't like Pound Town. I don't really like
Pound Pound. Pound.
Oh, please.
I don't like anything. I don't like it. I'm putting it on mute. I can't do it.
She got this song called Awesome Jocelyn.
John, go to hell.
She do. I love that song.
No.
Song called what?
Don't ask him to
Awesome Jocelyn.
Why you got to do that? Why?
I'm not even trying to be funny, but who else is from St. Louis?
You didn't hear what he said.
You didn't need to hear it.
Any St. Louis people, do y'all got rappers? I'm not trying to be funny. I can't say nothing because every time we have some from Cleveland, they always just book MGK.
You ain't lying. Ray Cash only had one hit, and then they just let his ass drop off the face of the earth. And Kid Cudi be so sensitive.
His ass when he probably missed the damn spot to
Well,
perform.
they not the people that might book him. They blow up his fucking car. That was Diddy. Shit. I'm just saying. Shoot. Okay. So Randall is supposed to be on the CW, and he said he intentionally chose Javon Evans as his opponent because he see a lot of himself in Javon, and his intention is to get a really cool RKO off, which I believe he's gonna get. Because as soon as they announce this match, I'm like, oh, that RKO finna be nasty. It's gonna be nasty. But Javon Evans, if he could pull off a W over Randy Orton, that's a big thing for him specifically, but just in general. And because
Randy call him up right then and there.
He was handpicked. That says a lot about Javon and where he's headed. So hopefully we'll get to see something fun next week. But also the tag team titles are being defended next week. And I have a sneaking suspicion that the Motor City Machine Guns are going to show up next week on NXT. And there are probably going to be some other matches that they haven't announced yet. We're going to have some interesting things to talk about next Tuesday. If I go
Did anybody figure out Stephanie McKeer's visa issue?
Didn't know
Is that cleared up yet? Yes, that's why she's not. She wasn't there.
Oh.
That's why. Well, that's why she didn't debut right away. That's 'cause I think they were gonna let her chill and Julia chill at Marigold for longer.
Mm-hmm.
But Steph had visa issues. I feel like no wrestlers. I feel like there's barely any wrestlers for Chile, so I'm not familiar with any of their visa stuff. And people are saying Delta will be there by Halloween on Halloween Havoc.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'll have to look into that.
If it has been cleared up, maybe she'll pop up in a few weeks, but more than likely
because when she was talking, I said, "Oh, that's Stephanie. I know Spanish."
Well, maybe
I said, "That's right, bitch." I said, "I want the three bitches arguing, and two of them are speaking completely different languages." I said, "Oh, I can't wait."
I would love to be in a feud like that. I'm like, what? Just start swinging.
Just don't be like Alicia Edwards, where all she say is she can't understand what you're saying, because she be getting on my.
I don't know.
I want to be like I told you. You don't hear nothing.
I told y'all, like, I want to be the most hated. I'm about to get ignorant as hell.
Bad Blood is coming
speak English?
Bad Blood is coming up on Saturday. I can't stand him.
It's gonna be real ghetto. I love that for everybody.
We in Atlanta, baby.
Is as follows: the Bloodline's gonna be facing off against Cody Rhodes and the original Tribal Chief Roman Reigns.
Just hurry up. That's all I got to say. Hurry the fuck up. Because y'all really starting to piss me off in the wrong way.
I mean, it's Roman's first match back since WrestleMania. I don't know if he's gonna win, or I think they are gonna win, because I think it would stick in Kevin's craw even more that Roman and Cody have teamed up and were able to best the Bloodline, but he couldn't. I think that's something that has to happen, or he might come out there and cost him the match, which that would be even more petty. Um, I'm gonna lean more into. We're gonna do predictions, so I'm gonna lean more into Roman and Cody winning on this one. I don't think it'll do any good to give the W to Solo and Jacob, if I'm being honest. But Nicole, who do you think is gonna win?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Is she still with us?
Can y'all hear me?
yeah, we can
We can
now.
hear you now.
Okay. I wasn't saying nothing. My just signal went
Oh.
out.
Who are you
Well,
picking?
who are you picking in this match, the tag team match?
Oh, oof. It's got the chills. Cody and Roman.
Don.
I'm so tired of Solo. He gotta lose.
It's my sentiments exactly. I'm gonna have to agree.
Everybody,
It's bitched out at this point, and I'm tired of seeing it.
everybody's going for Roman and Cody, which is fine by me.
Which
Um,
is triple nose, the reason to swerve everybody.
let's move on to something that's a little bit more interesting. Damian Priest and Finn Balor have been at each other's throats, brothers once and now bitter enemies. I am gonna give the W to Damian Priest.
Yeah, let's settle this. Give it to Daniel. So Rhea can lose.
Big Papi's gonna win.
And Big Mommy's gonna lose.
Yes, she is.
Ooh.
Nicole, who you got in Priest and Finn?
They're gonna draw this out, so it's probably gonna be Finn.
Ew. I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna hate it if she's right, and she usually is, and I hate it.
If
I
I
hate
can't
it.
be happy this week, no one can be happy.
That's some bullshit right there. That's
Um,
trash. All right. Beth Head live, and
That Liv is also going to win.
yeah, she's gonna win. She's gonna win, and it's gonna be because Raquel come in there. Because Monday, Finn said he handled the business that he and Liv needed to take care of. He handled it.
period.
And that means Raquel's coming back, and Raquel's gonna cost Rhea Ripley the championship. That'll pull Raquel from from Liv. That'll pull Liv and Raquel and Rhea apart. Have her switch off to Raquel and let them battle it out. But I don't know what they're gonna do with Liv after that because there's really nobody unless you sick Sonya and them on her, which to me
Oh
makes
Oh
God, no!
God.
oh,
First
that
of
was
all,
a resounding
street
no.
street
That was a
trash till I die.
resounding
Keep
no.
those dykes away from street trash, and
Why?
I
Why?
mean
They're
it.
villains. Why?
They better go be villains in the DC universe because I don't want to see it. You bitches are
It's just
boring.
too
They was up
much.
here talking. I'm watching this shit, and Tisha Camp was screaming in my fucking face. I said, if you don't get your ass on.
It's just negative. And then that's what okay, I know we moved past Raw, but when did she get that Hoochie Mama gear?
Baby, I don't know.
I was
Who?
like, I had never seen Zoe in gear like
Zoe?
that.
She started putting that shit on when Sonya got involved.
I don't know why she still come out there
I said, you
getting very
see,
much
I said, I can understand if you go get you some new titties.
strong
You
lesbian.
still giving much box cutter vibes. I don't want to see you in a boo. I don't want to see you don't have titties to show. Have some class with it. Be like Bianca. Be like Spanish Rachel. You don't have nothing.
Raquel ain't got no
Be like
titties.
Kiana.
I
If
need
you gonna
Char
show some
I'm
titty, you gonna have
I'm
to.
so
You don't
tired.
have
I need
nothing.
Charlotte to come back.
I mean, facts.
I'm so
I'm
tired.
bored.
Charlotte, I
Charlotte gonna
love
come back
you.
and take it from Nia, though.
Now Charlotte come back and take it from Liv. I would. That
Oh,
actually would feel better.
I would fucking I'm
I
throwing
would
parade. You
allow.
wouldn't be able to
I
tell me.
would.
I would
That will
be
actually.
Charlotte's number one fan.
I still think Tiffany should cash in on Liv Morgan.
She's
Yes,
not going to.
I think
What
she
if?
should.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me. Did Charlotte? No, Charlotte already won a Rumble. Never mind.
Yeah, Sherry run a Wumble.
That wasn't her. Anybody up? Anybody stepping up to the plate these days anyway? She can win it again.
They probably gonna give it to Jay next year
It'll
anyway.
probably be Jay. Yeah, it's gonna be somebody random. The women,
And
it's gonna be somebody random, and then the men, it's probably gonna be John Cena.
Damn,
oh
that's a waste
god,
of a Rumble slot. I'm
I was
sorry.
I was like thinking about it the other day. I said it's either gonna be John Cena. Don't give it to Drew again. I'm tired.
what
No,
if it's Kevin?
I wouldn't
I
mind
love
that.
Kevin, but no.
I wouldn't mind that.
I wouldn't
I
mind it.
would because all this is gonna be tied up in some bloodline shit. So no, I don't want to see
I
it.
hope not.
Man, it
I
depends
don't
on who you
trust it.
pick. He could
I
pick
mean, if
if
he goes
Gunther's still
after
champion. He could
Gunther,
pick
it
Gunther.
was
Oh, they really let them go on past time. It's 10, 11.
mm,
Um, I.
Or if it's
Oh yeah,
Sammy, he
we
could
should.
still
Yeah,
do
we need to
Sammy.
have. I feel like it's too early for a
too
Rumble to
early
do
for Rumble
predictions.
predictions. Rumble ain't
It's
till
so early.
February.
I know it's better.
Yeah.
They gave it extended another month, so we really got. But I think it's gonna be. I think the woman is gonna be somebody weird. I
Like
think it's
Lyra
gonna
or some
be.
shit.
Woo!
Yeah, well, I'm being
Woo!
serious. It's gonna be It's
Woo!
gonna be out the box. It's gonna be like you're gonna be like, huh?
Oh,
Who
this is
won
gonna
this
be
year? Bailey, Beyblade.
yeah.
Yes, which was I think that's why I think they're like they. I feel like this year that they feel like that. I feel like again. I This is just what I just like how I've been like figuring out his bookings, and also I think what he would do and and do with it. Yes, last year was like we all knew. We all knew. I didn't say, I wouldn't say we all like it. It wasn't like oh, like it was a surprise.
Obvious,
It
but
was
she
the
was
yes.
definitely
It
the
was the
pick.
obvious pick. It was a deserved pick, and I'm not to, is not to take anything from Bailey,
Hmm.
but it was just something like okay, it was okay. You deserve this, so you got this moment. I think this is going to be somebody very left field,
It's fine
I
by
wouldn't
me.
mind it.
like how Bianca was.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's
And
fine.
how Rhea was just like left field.
Okay.
It's fine.
So if Lyra can work her way up by then, sure. I don't think it won't be Tiffany because either she'll be cashed in by then or she won't have it or she'll still have the case. Um, if I was them, I would have her hold it for a bit longer.
Hmm.
All
I'm
right.
thinking.
Nia Jax is facing off against one of her arch nemesis,
To myself.
Bailey.
Okay.
Pammy Pockets is going up against Nia.
All right.
I mean, Nia's gonna retain, so
I don't know. I don't really
I mean,
care to see this
I don't. I find Nia Jax's title reign to be very boring.
because it's
Um,
centered around one person.
well, it's boring because it's her. I'm sorry, y'all probably don't disagree, but it's boring because it's her. Um, just
She
Compared to
ain't
her
doing
other
nothing.
title, her other time, this is a lot better. I'm actually really enjoying Naya, and I can't believe I'm saying that.
I'm
she.
glad she had a proper street fight than the one that she lost to,
Mm.
because that shit was pitiful to watch when I first saw it.
The way her and Tiffany, the dynamic her and Tiffany have now is interesting. I'll say that. But
You started
it
on
don't give
Tiffany,
me no
yeah.
sympathy for Tiffany. I don't give a shit. They was
I
like, you
don't
don't
care
care
Oh
either.
no,
that
I
Nia
don't feel.
almost choked her
Oh no,
out.
I
I
don't
was
feel
like,
bad for her.
No,
no.
the only reaction I got was like, oh shit. But oh damn,
I was like, well, she the one who put herself in the middle of that.
she
She
did
came up
that.
to Nia like, I want to be your friend. That was her, not the other way
She should
around.
have
You ain't know
checked the
she was gonna
track
be abusive.
record.
You ain't know she was gonna be abusing your ass, but I mean,
Did you see what she did to Tamina? Overtalked her. You
or what
see what
she
she
did
did
to
to
Shayna.
Shayna? She tired. She cut Shayna off anytime she was ready to talk.
And
Then
she's
Shayna got
related
that
to
ass together
Tamina.
though. Shayna got that
Right.
ass together. She was laying on that damn thing and said, Shayna, no!
Shayna, you don't have to do this.
Shayna
Shayna, don't
stuck on that
do
bitch
it. Don't
arm so
do it.
fast.
Don't do it.
I was like, get that bitch! Get her! Oh shit. They probably gonna put this match up first. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, I
nobody,
don't care. Put it up.
nobody
I don't
cares.
get it out the way.
Because nobody cares. Final
It would
match.
be interesting if it was somebody,
They
if
don't.
Mia had actually had the street fight on Bad Blood.
You know what actually needs to go first?
That bloodline match.
Yeah.
That bloodline match need to go first.
You know what really needs to go
It
first?
does.
Honestly, I
Really get that shit out the way.
when is Future Metro performing? Because they're gonna have guests. Just have them perform.
Bitch, you ain't right. You ain't
I'm
right.
serious. Well, that marching band is supposed to be doing Cody's entrance.
Mm-hmm.
For what? From Georgia
Um,
State?
No, they're from Alabama.
yeah, baby.
What kind of fucking. Let's move on.
Ah,
Because that don't make sense.
the Hell in a Cell match is more than likely going to be your main event. It's Hell
And
in a Cell.
better.
It's one hell of a special attraction.
Drew McIntyre is finally decided that he wants to murder CM Punk, and CM Punk has finally decided to take Drew McIntyre to hell.
Murder who?
That shit was hilarious.
I said,
Drew
Drew,
is delusional.
you've been threatening to murder this man for
Since
6
the
months,
beginning.
and you ain't made good on that threat yet.
And that's the same shit he said. He said, you said you was going to kill me. Here I am, still standing.
And I'm
Hello.
like, well, he got a point. CM
He ate
Punk
his
ate
ass.
your ass up on Monday, and he said very few words. You talked for over 6 minutes and
He
said the
talked for a hot
same,
little second.
the
The
same
same shit you've been saying since for 6 months.
same shit you've been talking. And CM Punk didn't say nothing, but you prayed for this. This is what you asked for, and you got it. And now I'm gonna take you to hell. But he said you ain't gonna be praying to no God and no devil. You're gonna be praying to me. And I was like, God damn,
I was like, ooh.
God
I don't know. I
damn,
was excited about that.
that was good. It's like,
They
oh,
ate that up. Well, he ate
it's
his
like,
ass up.
ooh,
I was
He
like,
Drew
said,
ain't
ooh.
got
Drew
nothing. All he
said,
can do.
I was
he
like,
said,
ooh,
you
what
can
else
say
do
whatever
you?
you got to say, but I'm going to leave.
I was like, ooh, what else are you trying to talk to me about?
Oh my God, no, please.
Oh, that shit, that was good.
Is that gray in the beard?
I can't.
Please.
He ain't had that slick back Negro hair Monday,
That's right.
so
I hate that hair.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Me too.
I
I'm like,
love
just
his
pull out the
haircut when he
bang.
first came back. I was
Pull
like,
out the
oh,
Oh, that
bang.
was so good. I said,
I was
cut your hair back like that.
like, right. I was like, damn, CM Punk low key handsome. What the fuck going on around here?
No wonder he was slinging. You know what? I'm not even gonna
Shut
go
up.
there.
Shut it up. Shut it up. You Hirsch.
He's a chick magnet.
Hirsch
And
right
if he was
now.
still pulling them with that pink hair,
Stop. Stop it right now.
I'm just saying,
Those
he got
shorts
to
were
be that man.
crazy.
Did y'all see
I
him
was
wearing
like,
his biker shorts?
I was like, and I was like,
I did.
okay. I said someone didn't tell him to
He had
put.
the hat on and everything.
No, did you look at the shorts?
Yes.
That's the first thing you
And he did
see.
not have on no cup.
I was like,
Your business
if
is
Vince
out.
would, you know, if Vince was, I was like, he would have lost his mind
You crazy?
because that's why they. What color did they tell Finn he couldn't wear anymore?
White and gray.
Yeah, they say he could. Yeah,
The
man.
white, gray, and periwinkle.
They
And
said,
that's
oh
because the
no, no,
camera
no.
will always be right under him. And
Literally,
you can
And that
just
thing
see
was
right in
poke
his
out. I'm like,
junk.
oh,
he got an album now.
wear it again.
Finals.
Yeah, he did it for finals. In the
No, he's an idiot. He be that's. I think that's the other thing that pisses me off about him. I was like, why you got pants on?
I
I'm
mean,
just.
both
It's,
those finals.
I'm
Yeah, the
over it.
fantasy
Well,
pissing me off.
I got a couple to get. I got to
I
get
see
that.
even I said now.
Yes.
I said the jig is up now. Like
We
let's
need to
stop
start a
it.
tweet. No pants, Dollar.
No, I want both.
Oh.
But you have to order Victoria's from
Like take the pants
her.
off. Like we're tired.
Why you still got that on?
I
Take
say
that
you
off.
Okay.
don't feel. I say you don't feel weird with the pants on. I know you do.
You
I
not hot? I know you a little
90%,
hot.
95% of your career, you fucking wore trunks. Are you kidding
Well, he
me?
think he a thug, and he said as a thug, as a gangster, he's gotta, wear pants.
That is what he said. Real gangsters wear tights.
I can't wait till we get old school Finn. He don't have to be a face. I just want to see old school Finn again.
The demon, or you want the prince?
The Prince is cool. I don't have a problem with the Prince, and I would love
I
to see
like
the
the
Demon. We haven't
prince.
seen Demon Balor since he went up against
Oh,
Roman.
he's. I don't think.
Since
I
he was
low
on
key
the
don't
ground
think.
flopping like a fish.
Was he the
I
Demon when
low
he
key don't think we're gonna see the demon
Yeah,
again until he's like in his like last
his last
year.
days.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
I got in this match for Hell in a Cell. You on Team Punk or you on Team McIntyre?
Team Punk.
I saw this
Uh,
earlier and now it's in the back of my head now.
what?
And
I
somebody was
Don't
like,
say no
what
mess now.
if Ethan Page
oh no,
costed that and Drew wins?
he better not. You know what? Y'all are horrible. Y'all think of the worst shit.
Why would he
I
do that?
I'm going to Team because he feels like Punk cost him his match.
I mean, I know that. But why would somebody say something like that?
Now why
I
would
don't know, but as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Ooh,
I
why'd
hope
you put
not.
that?" I said, "Why'd you put that out there?" Because now I'm
Don't
thinking about it.
say that. Don't say that.
That was rude. Like, don't say that. I'm gonna go with Punk. I think Punk's gonna win this.
He needs to, child.
I think
But
he's
he
gonna
won the
win.
I just
last
want the
match,
match
so
to
we
be
never
over.
know.
I think it's gonna be fun to watch. I like watching Drew and CM Punk fight. They actually be brutalizing the shit out of each other. It's a very interesting fight, ladies and gentlemen.
And CM Punk, if you come out this a winner, don't be talking about Gunther. You're not gonna survive. I'll stand with you in all things, but don't call him out.
It looked like Gunther's next opponent is gonna be none other than your favorite Orange King, Braun Breaker.
Good for him.
He said, "Oh, he is a badass." Ah,
Oh wow.
I can't wait till he be like, "You got that dog in you." It's sad to say that dog is a bitch.
Wow.
Damn.
Everybody's gonna be like, "Oh,
I ain't never heard Gunther curse, but he be
oh."
saying some fucked up shit.
He be saying some wild shit.
And
Or
he
when
don't
he's like,
curse nobody out. And I think that's what make it so mean is that he not
the
cursing at you.
I was like, he's
mean
just a
part is
mean
the fucking
spirited
giggle before
person.
he get to it.
He's just mean. And I'm
He's
just
just a
like,
mean spirited like individual. Like I
y'all
would
just
be
gonna
like,
stand
damn.
there and let this man make. He told Damian Priest he came from nothing, therefore he is nothing. I said, bitch, them is fighting words.
Bullshit, he just went down.
No, what he said to Sammy this Monday was crazy. He said, "My dad." He said, "Our dad said you flew me all the way to Philadelphia just so you can
Lose
lose
to a bum
to a
like
bum
Sami Zayn.
like Sami Zayn." I knew his daddy said that. I didn't even have to be. What was that? Bulgaria? That's not Bulgaria.
Austrian.
I don't have to be Austrian to know what the fuck he said.
I said,
Because I would say the same thing if somebody flew me out just to see you lose. Bitch, you just flew me out here just so you can lose?
these motherfuckers is Gunther is diabolical. He is diabolical.
It'd be the laugh.
Because I
When
don't
I hear
like the
that
way
laugh, I
like I
know he
said,
getting into it.
he would literally never want to speak to me again. Because I would straight do a shoot promo on him just because of that. And I'm going for the juggler. I'm talking about you sleeping around. I'm talking about how you left your wife so you could be with this other lady and you just got married. I'm telling all your
I would even though
They been had it.
I was like, let's not.
I'm telling all your tea. Do you hear me?
Tiffany had it. Shit, it's only week one.
I
She
love
done.
Jenny, but I had been like, let's not.
Dude, you not finna go at me calling me some damn trash. Tell me I came from nothing. You ain't shit. Oh, I ain't shit. Nah, you
Why you
ain't
over
shit.
there giggling and kikiing?
I'm finna tell
You need to go
I'm
find out how
all
your
your
ex-wife
shit.
doing. Is the
Oh,
alimony going through like it should be?
when the last time you see your kids, sir?
Why you got a
I
new
don't
one on
think
the
he had
way?
any kids with her.
Oh,
I
I
don't
be
think
all
he had
in.
kids with her. I think he only has that kid with Jenny.
I'll shoot at his wife too. I'm like, let me see this camera real quick. Any woman can look up and have a kid.
Damn. That's fucked up.
And apparently he's just making anybody his wife. He did it twice. Now let's move on. Because I'm gonna get my head knocked off. But I said what the fuck I said.
I don't
I'm gonna be in the
disrespect.
next race. I'm gonna be in the next race. Kathy, like, do you regret what you said?
I don't.
Absolutely not.
I'ma
I
say it
said what I
again.
said, and I'll say it again.
Don't hate me,
He
and
could
that's my.
break my arm about it.
They don't know better than to go. Don't do no low hanging fruit with me. Don't be talking about I ain't shit. I don't come from shit. Your daddy didn't raise you to be shit. That is a call for me to go at your ass. Now we finna start doing low hanging fruit, and I'm finna just go all up in your shit.
I'm like, you're so cold hearted. Did your daddy raise you at all? Hmm.
No, I'll be tearing his ass up because you're not finna disrespect
Not the alimony check.
She said, "Hey." Yeah, I'm gonna eat your ass up.
So we got a few more PLEs before the year is out. We got Halloween Havoc coming up for NXT. That's their next PLE, but it usually is a TV PLE, so it's not gonna be something that you have to run to see on the Peacock streaming service. And then they have the Iron Survivor Challenge, which is at the end of the year, and that's usually the last PLE within the overall company period. Now they are going to be doing a tour for WWE. Those dates for that tour are pretty tight, okay? And they are at the end of the month. So they're right after Christmas is over, and they're going to start touring like the 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, and the 30th. There are like 2 shows per night for each one of these live events. So it's a lot going on. If you want those tickets, they have the stuff available for you to go and purchase them early now. But they do have a live event schedule set up for the end of the year. I don't know if they're still going to be doing live events before then, but I know they're going to be doing that at the end of the year. For WWE, the next PLE obviously is Bad Blood on Saturday. Then you'll have probably Crown Jewel sometime in November, and it usually is in early November, first 2 weeks in November. And then there is Survivor Series, which is on the 30th, and it's going to be in Canada this year, and they're going to have to start setting up Survivor Series. So I hope, I low-key wish they would do NXT involved in Survivor Series this year, because that'll be fun, because I'm just getting tired of the bloodline. It's almost like Triple H likes having one set of people always in that cage, like he did with Undisputed Era.
Mm-hmm.
Stop doing it.
He likes a ready-made story going into Survivor Series, but I feel like you can build one going into Survivor Series. The women's Survivor Series match is what I'm most curious about, because right now the only thing that they have going is PFC, and I just don't think that they're strong enough to be inside that cage, and I don't want to see that. So I'm very curious as to what they would do other than turn it into like a women's tag team Survivor Series match like they did back in the day in NXT when they had the tag team titles for the men. To me, that's your strongest way to make the women's match go on, is to put them all in that cage together. But, you know, what do I know? Then next year, the rollout for the PLEs is Royal Rumble will be February 1st instead of at the end of January. WrestleMania will be on Saturday, April 19th and the 20th. It's been pushed back pretty significantly. And this is going to be in Vegas. And then SummerSlam is going to be in New Jersey. And it is going to be Saturday and Sunday, August 2nd and August 3rd at MetLife Stadium. So that's going to be a fun time. I wish they would have did the 2 nights for us, but you know, they don't like us like that.
Bitches.
Okay, they just got there.
They don't like us.
They barely want to give you SmackDown.
You ain't
They didn't
lying.
give you SmackDown. They
They
gave
gave
you
us
Raw.
SummerSlam. It was like him.
Here, since you crying, shit,
Yeah.
always beg it to something. Here.
Take it. Now, shit.
Damn.
We gave you one of the biggest turnouts. And we was hyped. Fuck y'all. Shit.
They said we
Anyways.
ain't coming to this bitch again. It's dangerous.
Damn.
No, because like, you know what? The next time they have a PLE here, I'm definitely gonna have to do something, because Troy sent me a message and he was like, yo, like the food we were eating was not up to par. And I was like, I don't know where the fuck you was eating at. But if it was downtown, it depends on the restaurant. It depends on the restaurant.
Jesus, you just came to the grave, got a home cooked
I
meal.
mean, because I cooked, and I was like, I told him, I was like, you could have came to my house. You could have brought Seth, Becky, and the whole brood. I had hella food in my house.
Now who you telling to go to your house and get something to eat?
I told Troy he could have came to my house. I told him next time y'all in town, if I cook, you can come. And he was like, all right, bet. I was like, you can come to my house. I had hella food. I had hella
Not Troy going by to get a plate.
You could have came and got a whole bunch of shit. I was like, you could have
No,
came.
Becky, I think, isn't Becky vegetarian?
I don't know. Well, she would have been able to eat.
I bet here's some sides, Becky.
Everything I had in here had some type of fat, butter.
All kind of dead
You know what I'm saying? It
I'd be
said
like,
some kind
oh,
of animal in it.
I believe she is vegetarian, if I'm not mistaken.
She could have had some hummus and some.
Yeah, I'd have been like, oh, sis, I see we got some sides. I see you want some
There's
juice.
some rolls over there if you want it.
Right. Some biscuits.
I'd have been like, the baby's not vegetarian, right?
She could have a she could have a wing.
I'd be like, give Rue a chicken bone.
Right. Let her gnaw on it.
Yeah, suck the grease off of that, baby. You all right.
Wait,
And Seth would probably be in the corner not saying a fucking word, chowing down.
vegetarian, because when they did Hot Ones, when her and Seth did the Hot Ones challenge, those were wings they were eating, and they weren't vegan. They were real wings.
She might not be one anymore, but she was for a long time. She might not be one anymore. She was a vegetarian for a very long time.
So we got one more topic to cover. Okay. So Nicole wanted to talk about the black male wrestler narrative. Okay. So there's a narrative going around online, and it is there an issue booking black male wrestlers in the WWE? So I took it upon myself to go and find all the black male wrestlers in the E right now. And these are half of them. But if you notice, a lot of them don't come from the main roster. A lot of them come from NXT. Just about everybody on this poster is from NXT. Now, the other one that I have has the black wrestlers from the main roster. So you've got Kofi, Montez, Dawkins, Xavier. I probably missed one. But Apollo was on the other. Apollo is on here. He's hidden somewhere, but he's on there. Anyways, so The question is, how can WWE book their black male talent better? And I'm missing Carmelo. Carmelo is on here, but he also is hidden, so my bad. But anyways, I'll let Nicole go first because I have a few things to say, and some of y'all probably not gonna like it.
Oh,
So
they're not. They're really not gonna like mine. So,
go ahead.
um, I would say in hindsight, I would say to a certain extent, yes, but not necessarily in a negative way. Um, and also, in my opinion, and this is like coming from me, I don't rely on these big companies to give me the diversity that I'm looking for, if we're going to be for real. That's why you have shout out to Ashe, who just had a show, who is run by Darius Lockhart. Everyone over it is black. They strictly book black talent. And then you have places like Hog, and then and there's like quite a few other um indie battle club, and I'm blanking on a couple more. So in that aspect, I look at those shows when I want, and then I make sure I support. The thing is that you can't, in hindsight, complain about something now when you don't support. And what is this man's name? I'm gonna look it up because he made like a very good point. So in the Jobber Tiers Facebook group, 'cause I don't ever go in um a Facebook group. Um, his name is Dewine Davis, and he basically, the gist of his post was that he himself was, because again, seeing all this discourse, um, decided to do research.
Mm-hmm.
And in his research, he took screenshots of, again, this is again, and I'm not trying to poo poo on like jobber tiers, but again, this is like a good example, and this is like no shame to them, but like just, and obviously this is just like a group, so there's like hundreds of people in it. From the other people in this group, there was a very small handful that he got of screenshots of people promoting whether it's black wrestlers and or events.
Hmm.
And then Trey was really big on that. Like, if you really want to see something, what are you doing to make sure it gets pushed to the forefront? So I'm not gonna beg someone for something when I can help support someone who's doing it, or push it in, or support and push it and the smaller avenues, so it's a ripple effect coming up.
I
So
I
that's why that's why I think it's a lot bigger conversation than people want to get, and people don't want to do it. Like, I'm not sit there gonna ask for something from like a Triple H. And again, not to say that wasn't an issue, but then I'm gonna say something really messed up. This
mm-hmm.
conversation wasn't nothing, because when you go back and look at the women's division, especially what, like 10, 15, whatever years ago, when Alicia Fox was literally the only black woman on there for years.
And no one said anything.
No one said a fucking word. And I
But now that
also think this conversation is really funny when I was like, so fuck Bianca
right or Jade.
or Jade. No, but specifically, well, fuck Bianca. She's on every poster, she's on every promotion. They got her a damn show on Hulu with Montez.
Yep. Now she
And then
promoting
you have
her
people
with
like
Cardi B.
Kalani, how they're really starting to push and big up.
Yep. Lash.
Lash Legend, and I think they're starting to get the gears going with her. Fucking Jada Parker.
Yep. Yep.
So I think this
But
is also low
it's
key
not. It's
rooted in
because
misogyny.
they don't know how to book black male wrestlers, is what they say. And I said I disagree with that. I think
I
And
that
I
disagree as
highly
well.
disagree with that.
I
And
think that
the one thing that sucks, and like you said, Tiff, and I'll let you go on what you're talking about. There's so many of them are in NXT.
mm-hmm.
There is, I want to say, at least 60 to 70% of them. That's a big is in NXT
That is
right now.
100% true.
So
Because
that's why I think people need to let, again, like I said, like if you can't complain about this shit when you're not supporting it and not saying like you're like X, Y, Z and complain and whine and like want to go on this hoopah, well, what are you doing? Support it. Like I said, like help support from up so it can have a ripple effect up. All them people is about to, well, it's eventually going to start coming up within the next year. I want to say a good 20% of that is probably going to be up within the next year.
Holy stiff.
I feel like that this conversation is unfair. That's what I
I
think.
don't even think it has to do anything with fair. I just think it's dumb
I
because
think
no
it's
one's, I just think it's stupid. And also the one thing that really, really grinds my gear, and I've been trying to, but I haven't had the time. The fact that this is coming from someone who vehemently multiple times said that they did not, and I repeat, did not want to be referred to as a black wrestler and was upset that he was on a list that helped celebrate those who look like him. And the reason, and I will stand by this, and again, I don't want to keep dragging this up because again, this came up I think this came up again like a week or so ago. Once all this came up and there was like a lot, back and forth and niggas was arguing and shit over this on the internet. And I don't want to bring this back up. But because they were mad at where their spot is. And I don't give a fuck what nobody says. You were salty and pissy because you thought you were better than that person. So you went on this whole rhetoric for over a year.
and now is I'm the first black
And
woman
now
champion.
and now we're championing for diversity.
Now
I'm confused.
I'm making it easier for black people. I'm a gateway.
What?
That's how he acts. He's acting like he is the next godsend of
And
black
that's what,
wrestling.
and again, and that's why I don't want, and also that's why I say it's like I watch when I say when it comes to that stuff because again, like I'm not fully in the industry and I don't like, again, I don't like talking about my people like that. But at the same time, like, come on now. To me, it's very it's like, how do I word this? It's very disingenuous and it's pushing a narrative. You and old girl are pushing a narrative and you don't see how you're getting used as puppets even though you claim that's what you were getting, that's what was happening while you were over there, but you don't clearly seeing what's happening for you right now.
Hmm. Like
You're a
how
puppet.
you pretty much got shafted during as a champion. So
And
that
it's
Daniel
not even to do
Bryan,
with that. I'm talking about this conversation as I'm excluding his championship. I'm strictly talking about the conversation itself. And you can't, and that's why I like tried really hard not to really get into the discourse about this, especially like online, because I feel like again, this is a broader issue that needs to be spoken about. But to me, you can't, I'm not going to take you seriously when all the rhetoric that you've said in the past and continue on. And then also, I don't understand the rhetoric because it's like when people are just like, okay, so what? So fuck NXT. And then what about or black women that were featured in multiple prominent positions
They feel like NXT doesn't
who's
count because
propped up.
NXT isn't main roster.
Literally, the top three protected person, one of the top three protected people in that whole fucking company is Bianca.
They say it doesn't count.
But that don't count because fuck women, right?
I think that it's an unfair conversation. And the
That's
reason
what I'm
why I
saying.
say
I think
that,
the whole thing is asinine. I think it's stupid. I think it's a way for pea brains to think that they're so nuanced that they paid attention to this. But it's like, okay, so what are you actually paying attention to?
because you only point out the things that fit into your narrative. And that's what I have a problem with. Debates don't work like that, and neither should conversations when we're talking about diversity and inclusion. Now, I'll admit, on a roster right now, black men are not as prominent as they were a few years ago. But like
You
I'd
know,
say all the time, everybody has their season. And it's not like Triple H is just like, yeah, I don't want black dudes on my roster. If he had completely wiped the roster and was just like, we're only going to use black dudes to put over stories and we're not going to let anybody go after titles, we're not going to do anything, then we'd be having a different conversation. Because I feel like y'all are targeting this because you're like, oh, I don't see any black guys going after the titles, but you know full well what the fuck is going on both shows. You can't just shoehorn people in to main storylines. It doesn't work that way. And in fact, it disrupts what's happening. Now, Vince may have done that, and that worked for you with Vince, and you like taking scraps, so that's fine by you. But I would like to think that you would want a storyline to be built around a black champion or potential black champion that actually means something and not just being given something out of the blue so he can lose it in a couple of months. I would like to think you would like them to be built the way Obafemi was, or like how Wes Lee is being built, or how Trick Williams was being built. Like they gave them true storylines and story arcs in NXT. And the same thing could happen on the main roster, but a few things have to be shifted out of the way in order for that to happen.
and same thing with Carmelo Hayes.
Same thing.
He stayed having. He went from. Did he win the breakout tournament? He
Yeah.
won it, right?
Yes, he did.
So he won the breakout tournament. He
Yeah.
was the North American Championship. He literally dropped that, and then he
Yep.
was like NXT champion like fucking 3 weeks later or
Yep.
some shit.
He made them
Like
Yep.
literally, that's what it felt like.
the cruiserweight championship too. Then they had like
Yeah, he retired the cruiserweight title.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
What are the NXT titles? He had them retire that too.
What NXT title?
no, they merged it because that's when they was doing that stupid shit.
Yeah.
That's when I was so sick when they had Mandy win the.
The NXT UK Championship and they merged it.
Yeah, that's when they started merging all those titles. I was so angry about that. That's another conversation. But it's so, and then it's so stupid. The first and I think only double champion that we've had in NXT
Was Keith.
so far, or has been Keith Lee.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He's the only one.
What did someone say the percentage of people who have hold the North American Championship? It's like a 95% or something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Are black.
So
that's why the conversation to me is so fucking stupid because they're like, well, they're on NXT. I was like, okay, so you want to use NXT to fit your narrative when it works, but when it doesn't, then it's a no.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because that's what I'm saying. I was like, eventually, a lot of them people are about to go up soon.
Yeah. And Triple H's booking is troublesome, period. It's not about people being black or white. It's about
the problem is faction. He has a really bad faction problem.
Yeah, it's very, very
That's the problem. And I feel like his biggest problem is the factions.
he really needs to learn how to diversify that roster enough so that he can have multiple storylines going where they're not so heavily reliant on guys like Cody and Roman and everything. Like, that's cool. I love that. But that mid card is stacked, and you've got enough people in that mid card to have some really cool shit going right now. And you're focusing and relying on them and Judgment Day, which to me is unnecessary because both of those groups have run their courses. And his problem is that it doesn't really have anything to do with race. And I really hate the fact that we have to keep going back to this conversation, because prior to Triple H's era, it was few and far between that Black women were even given title shots, let alone being at the top of the mountain. But everybody was quiet. Nobody said anything, like Nicole said. But now that Black men are getting the short end of the stick, all the dudes want to come out and start bitching and complaining. But before, you was telling us to just shut the fuck up and wait. So I'm going to tell you the same thing. You got to wait your fucking turn. Okay?
Exactly. Because that's what I said. No one said a word when Alicia Fox was literally the only one for years. I want to say at least 3 or 4 years.
The only Black girl there?
Yeah, she was.
And she barely got to be champion. Barely got to be champion. She was the only Black Divas champion. But barely,
and it was like barely had it. It was maybe a couple weeks.
It was about a good, it was 90-something days or 70-something days. It was a decent time, but it could have been longer, or it could have been more.
So that's what I'm saying. That's how it's like a lot. This is also rooted in misogyny. That's what I said. I was like, this is a very nuanced conversation. And then the people who are really harping on about it are trying to make it seem like it's, I don't want, again, like, okay, like nail on the head, black and white conversation when it's really not.
And let's just keep it all the way funky. Like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but when you're talking about title reigns and putting people in title positions, right now you got at least 15 guys in developmental that are Black that haven't gotten a chance to truly be developed yet. And then on the main roster, you've got most of those guys former tag team champions, tag team partners. And if we're being honest, on their own, we're going to be fair, okay? Cedric Alexander is very reminiscent of Ricochet, but the only difference is Cedric can actually talk on the microphone when necessary.
They got to do something with Cedric. That's my one complaint.
I don't mind Cedric having a mid-card run. In fact, I would like Cedric to come to the main roster and him and Xavier Woods have a good rivalry, because I feel like
put the fucking US belt on him or something.
Yeah, let them fight it out. Let them fight out over a title somewhere. You got that title on Jey Uso. Have Xavier. Xavier's getting ready to turn heel anyway. And once he does, double back to Xavier, have him take it off of Jey, and then bring Cedric to Raw and let them fight over that title. And you can move Jey Uso into title contingency for something else, or just work him in somewhere else. But you have ways to make this work, right? And you have people on there that are ready-made stars. People like Montez Ford are more than prepared to be at the top of the mountain. But again, it's all about good timing. If you do that to Montez now, you're going to bury him. You know why? Because Cody is the moon right now, and fucking Roman is the sun. And having him in the middle, he's either going to die on the moon or he's going to get burned by the sun. Y'all are not thinking. You're not using your heads. You can't just put them in these positions or give him a title shot. Why? He's gonna lose. Do you understand what I'm saying? In the middle of what they have going and how they've been booking things, do you honestly think that anybody, whether it be Wesley, Trick Williams, Carmelo, or anybody else, is going to come in, swoop in, and be champion and everything be honky-dory? No, because in 2 weeks, you're going to be bitching about how the championship doesn't mean anything anymore because he has it. The same way you treated Cody is the same way you're going to treat them. In the same way you fucking did Kofi. Because I'm going to tell you the truth, I don't think you deserve another Black champion, if we're being honest. Because when Kofi became champ, all of you fucking coons was running around here calling him everything other than his God-given name. And y'all treated him like he was a bitch because he wasn't running around here being mean and attacking people and feeding into your bullshit black man narrative. As a champion, he shouldn't be running around smiling like that. Well, what the fuck is he supposed to be doing? Well, that's why he got beat by Brock Lesnar.
But yet you want to talk about this because I'm telling you, those are the same people.
It's garbage.
It's the
It's
same
trash.
exact people. And another thing that makes me mad is that this is a notion where everybody thinks everyone can and should be a champion. And life don't work that way.
It
And
doesn't.
wrestling don't work that way.
The storylines,
Everybody can't be Beyonce.
no.
Mm-mm-mm.
I wish they would stop.
And you
I
don't need to be.
really, really wish that people would stop. Be like, "Well, why isn't Ricochet a world champion? Because he can't fucking talk.
And you know
He's
why.
been wrestling for 15 fucking years and can barely
Okay,
string
so
together 4 words without stumbling over them.
And you know it's a problem where Will Ospreay is best to you on the microphone.
Well, the thing is that I hate that motherfucker, but I'll give him something. He can talk well and he's passionate. You just can't fucking understand him because the region he's from. And he just sounds like he has fucking marbles in his mouth.
He always yelling, and I be tuning his
All them
ass.
people from always forget wherever them people from Skins are, that's where he's from. I'm serious. Wherever Skins is, that's where he's from. And they talk like they scream because it's low key the ghetto.
Oh my god.
Those are British people. Like where them all them motherfuckers are congregated, those are British people. Like them motherfuckers was fighting whatever war when well I won't say we because we were brought on ships, but the other people when
Go
not
please.
funny, but it's not. But them people that came over, that's where they're from. I'm very good with regions. I won't tell you, but I can tell you that group. But that's the OG. Like he's an OG colonizer. Like all them people from that area who got that real fucked up fix, those are the OG colonizers.
I can't with her.
Don't let that little posh people accent fool you. That's not no. Those are the people that just end up getting money.
So instead of just being negative, the question I have now is how can WWE book their black male talent better? To me, that's what the mid card division is for. And that's where I always go back to the stepping stones. You don't just, superstars are built. Some of them come in and are already ready to go. Guys like Montez, guys like Kofi, they had personality already and they were superiorly athletic. They're ready to roll. Dawkins even has personality and is very athletic. These types of men don't need a lot of building. They just need the push. They just need the opportunity. When you go to where the NXT guys are, and you're looking at that roster, there's a bunch of potential there. But there are several people who are ready-made stars. You've got Oba, Wes Lee, Trick Williams, and Javon Evans. Those are your ready-made stars, people who came in and were already set and ready to go. So when you pull them up to the roster, all they need is the opportunity. Similar to the way you have Lyra in the mid card for the women's division. She isn't getting, any title shots anytime soon. Although she was in the Queen of the Ring tournament, she did very well. Lyra utilized her position as a former NXT Women's Champion, came into the main roster, and has been working her way up. The same goes for Tiffany Stratton. Tiffany Stratton came on the main roster, was given opportunities, and she excelled at them. Love her, hate her, she has been doing her job very well on the main roster. These people have to be given opportunities. And with Triple H, he has to learn how to book that mid card better so that everybody can get a shot. Now, I understand that there is a rotation here. I told y'all the rotation should have been implemented a long time ago. But Triple H seems to stay on one part of the rotation for a very long time. That hamster wheel with the bloodline has been rolling for 5 years. 5 years. We have been in bloodline hell for 5 years. The Judgment Day has been in play for almost 4 years. 4 years. Those are your two top factions on both rosters. And when you look at the mid-card division, the mid-card division is still fun to watch. They just have to learn how to implement. And right now, Kofi and Xavier are getting ready to implode. They are there. So you do see them. On the SmackDown roster, Carmelo has a whole best of 7 series with Andrade. It may not be the kind of booking that you want, but it's the booking that we got for right now. And until they start to shift where this is heading, we just got to roll with it. Triple H has got to either learn how to diversify so this can be booked better. I don't know if he's booking for both shows, but another problem that a lot of people are not looking at is there's not enough diversity in the back. There's not enough diversity in that writing room, and there's not enough diversity in the executives. So, yeah, you're going to be given opportunities. Yeah, you might see Black people being seen, but you don't have Black people in high-powered situations back there either. And you're so concerned with what's happening on the surface level that you're not thinking about the back end. And that's where you need to be going. If you want to do this, then you need to go full on. Stop having these think pieces online about how Triple H ain't shit and he don't know what he doing, and start using your heads. If you really want to support Black wrestlers, then you do like Nicole said, there's plenty of programs that go for Black people exclusively. And some of those have some of the top Black indie talents in the world, especially Ashe. And I don't see none of y'all buying tickets or going to see these guys wrestle. And sometimes it be prominent people from AEW, people from TNA be popping up over there. They be having some shit going. And y'all don't be going to the pro. Y'all don't be going. Y'all don't be sharing their stuff. Y'all don't interact with it. Y'all don't talk about the events. I don't see nobody televising the PLEs. The only person that I saw fully supporting it was Trey D when he was living. He was the only content creator that I saw that would post full matches and talk about the events with full Discord, the same way he would do all the PLEs for WWE and AEW and TNA. He was the only one. So y'all can keep going on this circle over and over again and crying and complaining about what you don't think people are getting. But I don't think that y'all really are looking at it from a perspective of what Black men need. I think that y'all are just jealous that Black men are no longer at the forefront of the conversation. But again, when this was happening to Black women, it was wait your turn. It's coming. So I'm going to say the same thing to you. You just got to wait your turn. And if you think AEW is so much better, then rock with AEW. But I will tell you this. The tide is going to change in their views as well, because it always does. You know why? Because business is business. It's just that simple. Business is business. And you're going to see an uptick in Black talent in WWE, and it's going to start very slow. And when it does, I don't want to hear no nitpicking. I don't want to hear nobody complaining.
I don't hear nothing.
I don't want to hear
a fucking peep.
I don't want to hear nothing. Because if we're being honest and fair, Latina people barely get any time on TV. And when they do, they are constantly losing. Okay?
Speak on it.
Zelina Vega ain't got a title shot, a proper title shot yet since she's been on the roster.
What
And
are
on the
we doing with LWO?
because they should be, you know what? LWO should have been tag team champions before. Okay, I ain't seen Legado del Fantasma since they had that little fake ass dinner in the back on SmackDown. Nobody's seen them. Okay, Santos should have been U.S. champion over Rey Mysterio. They missed the opportunity to do that. And y'all are bitching and complaining because black people not getting opportunities. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for my people, but if we gonna be fair, fair is fair and right is right. The Latino people get the short end of the stick every single fucking day in the WWE, and that was happening during Vince's time and during Triple H's time. Okay. LWO and the original version of Legado del Fantasma, they ain't got the tag team titles in no part of the company. And they very well should have. They should have been champion in NXT, on Raw, and on SmackDown. And they've never touched them. Haven't even had a true opportunity to challenge for them. If we're being fair. Only person that's gotten a title shot that's a Latino woman these last couple of years was between Lola and Zelina Vega. And to be fair, Zelina Vega's title shot wasn't that great. At least Lola had a fighting chance. Alexa Lopez ain't did shit since she done came up to SmackDown. So if we gonna start going into the nuanced conversations about race and how certain people aren't getting opportunities, when you really start to break this shit down, we better off than where we were. Because, like, if we be honest, the Latina and Hispanic people are at the bottom.
Yes. If a group needs to complain,
It's them.
yes. But nobody wants to talk about that.
Even the Japanese people are getting title shots and getting opportunities to carry titles and it's speaking their native language to do it. But they don't give that same opportunity to the Latino and Hispanic people. They do not. So if you're gonna call a spade, then let's talk about them clubs too. That's all I'm saying.
But nobody wants to talk about that.
You keep it all the way funky.
Especially since the backs, especially they helped curate the foundation of especially modern wrestling in general. You know how many motherfucking people who are influenced still to this day about Eddie Guerrero, and he's been dead for like 20 years, over 20 years now,
Yep.
almost 20 years in in that bracket.
I forgot about Raquel. My bad.
Shout out to Raquel. Well, also she had a medical issue, so that's different.
She hadn't been on TV in a while, so I forgot about her. So my
Yeah,
bad.
she was, but also she was the only one that she was also off because she had like some medical things that she was taking care of.
But she ain't been champion on the main roster except for tag team titles.
Except for a tag champion.
She
And
ain't
think
held
about
neither belt.
all your flippy motherfuckers that you're so obsessed with.
But get it from the
Who did they
luchadors.
watch? Rey Mysterio. Like
Amen.
let's be for real.
Like y'all being real. I'm not saying you're not allowed to ask questions. I'm not saying that at all. I do think that you should ask questions. I do think that you guys should look into things. But I also think that there's a time and a place for everything. And everybody is always begging you go from them being black and then it's going to change in a year or two to something else. Well, why isn't Austin Theory getting opportunities? He's a great wrestler. And how come this guy isn't getting opportunities? He's a great wrestler. Y'all switch off from being at race and then you start going off into individuals. Y'all was mad because LA Knight didn't get a title. He got one now. Now I'm starting to hear rumblings about how he boring. He don't need to be champion. They need to put it on somebody else. This is why they don't fucking listen to us. This is why. So please stop. Find something else to do. Find something else to do. Police. I want to do the
Oh,
SBC
speaking
chat.
of finding something new, I think the PW Women's comes out in like a week.
The what?
The PWI
The
Women's
women's
list, I
list.
think it, huh?
The women's list is coming out.
I think in like a week, honestly.
Oh, great! That's gonna be a whole
It's
new
about that
argument.
time.
Okay, we're gonna try and breeze through SBC chat so I can get up out of here. Okay. All right. Question number 1. I decided to spice up our marriage. I did something bold and freaky to convince my wife, Irene, to play along. While wife was at work, I cleaned the house, tossed those Dollar Tree rose petals in a bath. Damn, not Dollar Tree. That led to our bedroom. I lit her fave scented candles. I had DoorDash food. When wifey arrived, we ate, we showered. Then I laid her to our bed where my naked ex Lilac was waiting, blindfolded.
Oh no.
Let's do something nasty. I told my wife. The wife dropped her towel, backed out the room, and when she returned with a skillet, she butt naked and she beat the hell out of me.
What?
Lilac jumped out the second floor window to escape. I'm healing okay, but I'm not sure if I should remain in such a violent, unstable woman. Advice. Okay, so let me get this right. You wanted to spice up your marriage. So you drew a bath, put rose petals in it, you ordered food, sat with your wife, ate it, took a shower with her, and then you told her you want to do something freaky and had your ex-girlfriend named Lilac laying in your bed naked. And she beat you with a skillet. And you try to figure out if you should remain in a relationship with this unstable woman. This is, sir, I have nothing to say to that. I generally don't. This is just wild to me. Cause y'all can't be serious. You just can't be serious.
Who's confused?
Question number 2. Oh God. I'm not fat shaming because I'm a fat glutton demon myself.
What?
I'm
Never
not
heard that
fat
one.
shaming because I'm a fat glutton demon myself.
That's
I guess he meant glutton, but he said
interesting.
gluten. He put gluten on here. I think he meant glutton. I,
Should I go to Collision tomorrow?
I've been overweight all my life,
Tomorrow.
and I made it a point to date skinny men so my kids wouldn't inherit my fat gene. Bitch, that's not how it works. My children's father is tall and lanky, just the way I like it. But he was involved in a hit and run, and his legs were twisted like a pretzel. Jesus. I told my husband I would nurse him back to health, but he must monitor his calories and keep his body right. Nachos, beer, and a box of Little Debbie zebra cakes became his nightly snack after dinner. 2 years after the accident and intense physical therapy, he's walking normally, but he's completely round at the top with crooked, skinny. Sorry. With crooked, skinny legs. He's shaped like a taffy apple, and I'm disgusted by him. Also, my skinny coworker got me pregnant. What? My skinny coworker got me pregnant, and there's no way I could tell my husband that we're gonna have another baby because I haven't slept with him in 2 years. I want my baby. My coworker doesn't. He said, "Are you sure you're pregnant and not just big?" and I don't know what to do. Advice.
Well,
I'm
first you
gonna
need to see
say
if you
something.
pregnant and not just big.
I mean, I would say something I usually don't say, but you're a fat bitch, and I'm not helping you. You're a fat bitch.
You're a fat whore,
If
actually.
you didn't want him to eat fucking little Debbie cakes and shit, how the fuck you gonna put him on a diet and you out here wolfing down food and shit and you fat too? No, you're a fat bitch, and that's just where we leaving it at. I don't want to say nothing else to you. The man got into an accident. You talking about some? He just eating whole boxes of little Debbie cakes, and you literally just called yourself a fat glutton demon. Jesus. Question number 3. I thought y'all was gonna keep it really cool this week, but apparently, I was young when I dipped on my baby mama because I wasn't ready for the responsibility. We weren't in a relationship. She got pregnant when I was already leaving the situation. I walked away, never looked back. I felt bad about it though. Not enough to look her up and pay child support for the kid, but still. Lo and behold, she calls Kendra G's dating show and talks shit about me. Kendra asked why she didn't stay with me. I don't know. My baby daddy was born on the floor of a used car. My baby daddy was born on the floor of a used car lot. His mama was a hoe, and his father could have been anybody.
That's so unfortunate.
His destiny was fucked. His dick game was so lacking that I was surprised he got me pregnant. Jesus be offense.
You let that nigga less
And
than you.
she said, and so I fucked his best friend for a while just to feel sexy. My best friend has a long history of going behind my back and sleeping with my exes. None of my exes are 10s. They're all in the 3 to 5 category. Why would he constantly fuck on my exes? What kind of nasty shit is this?
What is going on?
A lot. It's hard to pinpoint what's going on. There's so much
I
going on
don't know.
in this one excerpt.
He's a deadbeat father and mad because his baby mama fucked on his best friend, and his best friend has a history of sleeping with all his ex-girlfriends. And he's mad. It sounds like every one of you niggas is deserving of whatever you're getting at this moment. So I have no advice for you other than good luck and Godspeed. Oh shit.
They sound like all y'all nasty at the same time.
Question number 4. I'm at Genoa, Hershey chocolate skin, long twist, and a nice round ass at the gym. Okay, great. That's nice. A few coffee lunch days later, she reveals that she has 6 kids by the same man who died last year. Well, at least they're all by the same man. I like this woman. I'm curious about her home life, and I asked to meet her kids. Nope. We refused. She refused. Period. We fucked, worked out together, went on lunch dates, but she won't let me meet her kids. I'm invested in this woman, but she's putting me in a fuckboy
Oh,
position. You are a
I
fuckboy.
love Julia. She literally tweeted, "Who are you at Cora Jade?"
Isn't that what you said she should say?
Yes.
That's exactly what she said she should say.
Let me go retweet that.
She is so unserious. She said, "I actually lost in front of thousands of people."
I can't.
She's gonna crash out because they have no idea.
I can't with her.
She's gonna crash the fuck out.
Damn, Cora might end up back on the injured list again. You know how she is when she get going. As soon as they start strapping that rocket, one of them knees give out.
The rocket's
Her
too
and
heavy.
Nikita Dragon.
Okay.
Not Nikita. Not Nikita Dragon.
He's
Nikita
lying.
Dragon does
He's
makeup.
lying. Is it lying? It's lying, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sound the same to me. Anyway, both of them hoes be caked up. But anyways, um, he
What's
goes on
natural
to say,
woman?
I'm invested in this woman, but she's putting me in a fuckboy position. I skip work to see her take her kids to school. She's a liar. She has 2 black kids, but the others are mixed. None of them look alike. So there are at least 2 different fathers. I hop out my car and confront her. I told her those United Nations kids prove that they were not from the same man. Did you just call this lady's kids United Nations?
Yeah.
He said, who they daddy's general? I called her a lying asshole who wasted my time and money. The kids cried. Her whitish son kicked me, but whatever. I laughed about her diverse kids to others at the gym. One trainer told me that Genoa and her now deceased husband adopted the children. The couple saved the kids from abusive homes, and she worked multiple jobs to care for them. Basically, this woman is an angel. How do I get her to forgive me and spend time with me again? You're a fucking monster.
A bomb.
Why would First of all, you should have respected her boundary. I wouldn't have introduced your bitch ass to my kids either. The fuck? What's wrong with you? You a whole ass weirdo. You gonna stalk her and track her down so you can see her kids, and then you called her a lying asshole and you didn't even know what was going on. I press charges. I call the police and say you stalked me. Send your ass to jail. I'm glad that little boy kicked you. They should have jumped your ass. It was 6 of them. Should have jumped your ass. Sitting in the damn gym laughing at a lady with a bunch of kids. Then they tell you that the lady adopted the kids. And you like, damn, how I get her back? Nigga, get your demon ass the fuck away from here. Shit. Question number 5. I warned Spoonie not to play games with my heart or my money. Those are my rules. Spoonie promised to leave his wife for me, so I left my boyfriend. Stupid. I got us an extended stay hotel room while we found a place to rent. I cleaned out my joint bank account and gave Spoonie $2,609. Now, why the fuck would you do that? For a down payment on an apartment. He met me at the hotel to pick up the money. I went to work. He said he was going to put the money on our apartment, but he never came back. I saw him on Snapchat at the airport with his wife. He never left her, and they're vacationing with my money. My ex-boyfriend warned me not to come back. I may have to sleep in my car soon. Revenge ideas needed. Hurry.
Go to church. I don't have shit else for your stupid ass.
You are dumb. Who gives a nigga they...
Put your trust in the niggas. Stop stupid hoe. How you figure? That's what you get.
You are a stupid bitch. Stupid hoe. Question number 6.
Y'all really think
Help.
I'm higher than yourselves.
Help. My husband is missing. That's what the lines say.
What a hook.
2 months ago, I met this fine man, construction worker, who was repairing the street in front of my house. He was leaning against his work truck eating, and I introduced myself. I told him we should go out. It's unnatural to go on a date. I'm single. If we're in this thing for love, let's skip the foreplay and go to bed. Let's see how we respond to each other in your home. Girl, you stupid. After his shift, he came over. I bathed him, fed him, fucked him good 2 times. Our souls were tied that night. Yes, I could be with you forever. I could be your husband. The next morning, he went to work on a different project. I didn't get his name or number, and I'm afraid he lost his way back to my house. I haven't seen him in a month. I've asked the random construction workers if they knew him. God sent my husband, and I don't want to lose him to the streets. How do I find him and bring him back home? Girl, he probably a homeless man dressing like a construction worker so he can get pussy in a place to stay. You You seriously went outside and brought a strange man into your house, gave him a bath, cooked for him, had sex with him twice, and never thought to ask him what his name was.
It
I'm
confused
stuck
me.
at the bathing part.
Yeah, why you bathing him? Is he a stray dog?
It never dawned on you to say, hey, what's your name? Just never dawned on you. I,
So, what's your number?
amazing.
So all I can say is hope you're pregnant and get a DNA test. I guess I don't know.
Girl, girl, it was a ship passing in the night, is the best way to explain it. You not meant to know who he was. You wasn't meant to take him in your house and give him a bath. I'm so confused by this entire narrative. And you're like, this is my husband. And it's all because he didn't have no money to take you out on a date. So he was being straightforward, like, we should just get to know each other and fuck. And your ass was like, all right, bet.
That sounds good.
He went on ahead and did it.
He said he could be your husband,
I can see myself being your husband. You got love bombed.
but
And
not today.
then he left your ass.
Mm, mm,
I
mm, mm.
I'm just I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. Y'all look. I hope y'all enjoyed today's show. I'm going to go and get this uploaded, and then I will post it to our podcast. I'm gonna post a storyline recap tonight. I'll try to get that done tonight. And y'all make sure y'all come back on Saturday, because Saturday is going to be Bad Blood. Bad Blood starts at 6 on Saturday.
That's early.
Yes. Now, I'm not sure if that's pre-show or if that's the actual starting time of the show.
If for our luck, that's the actual show because they did that the last pay per view.
They did. They did start Bash in Berlin very early, and
Because
I
I
was
turned on, I said, "It's the show."
yeah. So it seems like they're going to
Not
be
me, because
starting
I was
it
too
very
early.
early. So just turn your Peacock on at about 5:30 and just let it sit there, and it'll say coming soon, or you can pretty much click it. That way you can kind of get in on the servers, and you won't be at that part where your shit is like constantly buffering. Sometimes it does that on Peacock. They beefed up their servers a bit so it doesn't do that, but sometimes it still has that issue. So be mindful of that. All right. Make sure you guys remember it comes on Saturday. They said they're going to start at 6. I'm not quite sure if that's pre-show or the actual show, but it seems like they're going to start at 6 o'clock on Saturday. And there's a lot of shit going on. Bianca and Jade are going to be your hosts of Bad Blood this weekend. So they're going to be there. And of course, the match card is already set. We went over that. If you guys want to follow me over here on this channel, you definitely can. For those of you listening over on the Down for the Count channel, please subscribe, okay? We're going to have some more stuff being posted over there on the channel for you guys every week. And I'm going to try to start posting the podcast over there so you guys can hear that on the YouTube channel as well, okay? I will see you guys on Friday with SmackDown. SmackDown is supposed to have a triple threat tag team match, and it is a ladder match for the tag team championships. You're also supposed to get the final matchup between Carmelo Hayes and Andrade, because they are now 3-3. And whoever wins this final match between the two of them has won the best of 7 series. And I don't know where that's going to lead, but I would imagine it would lead to a triple threat match between LA Knight, Carmelo, and Andrade, because they seem to be intertangling them together. And of course, Bailey is the number 1 contender. She is going to be probably having a promo going off on Nia Jax. And of course, Naomi has a matchup with Tiffany Stratton on Friday. There's probably some other stuff going to be going on, you know, bloodline business. Roman will probably be there. Kevin and Cody are probably going to have it out. It's going to be a lot going on Friday. And then we'll have Saturday. So until then, I will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
All I'm saying